Hi, I'm Jack, the president of HackSussex, and this is Tom, our manager, who's like the organisational glue that holds our society together, keeping us all sane.
We can't wait to begin the Coders Cup live finals, but before we do, we'd like to take you on a quick recap of this year at HackSussex. The year started with a bang, with guest speaker Dylan Beattie delivering an inspiring talk on how failure can always be an option. Every week I looked forward to our code socials, where, okay, there were plenty of free pizza and snacks, but the main reason I looked forward to the socials was to meet our brilliant community. I always enjoyed learning about new ideas and trends in the industry from you all. My favourite code social was the first week of term, where over 100 of you showed up, and I met so many of you that day. Along with the fun, we also hosted many weekly workshops.
Lucas's popular robotics workshops bridge the gap between engineering and informatics, and it's a testament to his hard-working nature. He should be very proud of what he's achieved. It's been fantastic to see our competitive coding teams led by Ryu, Anton and Guy represent us and the department internationally in the UKI EPC and NWERC competitions.
The cybersecurity team, Pone Sussex, also performed excellently in the University of Edinburgh's Capture the Flag competition, coming fourth nationally.
I'd like to also thank Wenfei, Zaid and Alkaram for their incredibly put together C++ workshops this year. As if our committee has not been busy enough. We also managed to bring merchandise production in-house, allowing us to raise funds in a new and creative way. The rest of the team can probably agree that it's always lovely to see our wonderful HackSussex designs made by Patrick and Emily out in the wild.
This year we hosted our first ever game jam. Over 100 of us came together in the spirit of game making to produce some fantastic prototypes using unconventional mechanics. Spinning ourselves through the world of VR with the generous sponsorship of Roto, it was great to see that our community has a diverse range of skills well suited to the games industry, whilst many first-timers learnt what can be achieved as a team in just 24 hours. From retro arcade to immersive VR experiences, we got to see so many new ideas and technologies throughout the event. It was amazing to see people pick up never-before-seen technology and be able to adapt, learning to utilise them within their project. I was most inspired by the determination of people to conquer every challenge throughout the weekend. As a committee, we don't usually get to take part in our events, but this year we were able to form a team whilst hosting a global game jam location at the university. It was so much fun building a game and watching my colleagues show off all their programming skills.
This year's hackathon was the best yet. Over 200 of you rocked up on the weekend, 43 fantastic projects were submitted, and a lot of meals were consumed. We couldn't have done it without the support of Hastings Direct, Roto VR, BCS, Paxton and Teach First, who all kindly sponsored the event. Judging the submissions was a lovely experience. It was great to see so many of you find new use cases for AI. I know that our industry partners felt the same and were blown away by the hard work and determination demonstrated by you all. My favourite moment of the hackathon was the spontaneous karaoke in the lecture hall, where local and international teams were sharing their favourite songs. I knew we'd made a great environment to learn when I saw how unafraid people were to sing, dance and be silly in front of complete strangers. Of course, none of this would have been possible without the support of our community of students, alumni, sponsors and staff at the university. There are too many to name them all, but I'd like to give it a go anyway. From the department, I'd like to thank Malcolm, Ian Mackey and Ian Wakeman, and the school office for always pulling out all the stops in enabling us to put on our events. Thank you to everyone who volunteers their time to help mentor at them too. And a huge thank you to our wonderful committee. We voluntarily organise all of our events alongside our studies, and it takes a great team to be able to do so. I'm continually blown away by the care, attention and work ethic displayed by every single member of our committee. It's been a fantastic year for us all on the committee, and I hope that every one of you that have engaged in our events this year has felt the same. Whether it be learning to build robots in Lucas's incredible workshops or spinning yourself dizzy on the Roto VR chairs at the Hackathon and Game Jam, I hope that you've learned a lot and had fun with us along the way. To everyone graduating, taking a placement year or continuing their studies elsewhere, you'll always be welcome in the HackSussex community. I joined HackSussex because me and a friend enjoyed doing cybersecurity challenges and we wanted to form a team to participate in competitions. The cybersecurity team is now thriving.
Lucas joined this year as he wanted to share his interest in robotics with the wider community, and his workshops have been a resounding success. If you feel like your interest is underrepresented, Know that HackSussex can help you build a community around those interests.
And to wrap up the year, let's find out who the best programmer at Sussex is. We're going to cut now to Patrick and Richard in the studio. Stay tuned.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the HackSussex Coders Cup 2024. This is our final event of the year, and we can't wait to get started.
But before we get the show rolling, I'm Richard, and I'm a second-year AI student. All I do is train, whether it's the gym or the models.
And I'm Patrick, a first-year core comp sci student, and I'm big on competitive coding. Having won last year, I understand how the competitors must be feeling, and I wish them the best of luck.
After several weeks of intense qualifiers, we found the top 8 finest coders that Sussex has to offer.
Today, they will fight for the title of the best programmer at Sussex. Amy and Josh are with them now. Let's say hi.
Thanks, guys. We're here with those very finalists, but although there's 8 of them now, only one will walk away with the title of Best Programmer at Sussex.
We will be interviewing the contestants throughout the competition for you, giving you an exclusive insight into how everyone's feeling. Stay tuned with us for the live reactions from our coders.
You guys all ready?
Yeah! Woo! Now, back to you.
Today, our contestants will flex their brains in a series of brutal bouts.
This will be a single elimination tournament round, with each victory winning them more prizes and prizes as they climb up the ranks to be crowned the ultimate champion.
These coders will go head-to-head to solve questions involving algorithms, game theory, and intense maths.
Maths, that's too hard for me, but whoever performs these skills will take home the grand prize of...
Don't get carried away. We want nice, clean, square fights. That means all the contestants have to abide by the rules.
Alright then, let me whip out the big old book of rules. Let's see, shall we?
Right. Okay, each round will last 12 minutes and no internet allowed. Looking at you, Stack Overflow.
The coders will only have the bog standard library and documentation for the language of choice.
Both coders will get the same question to answer in the allotted time.
They'll be given a number of test cases, and the winner will be the one who passes all the test cases first.
However, if neither passes all the test cases, whoever passes the most, quickest, will snatch victory.
Yeehaw! Quick draw, I like the sound of that. But anyways, that's all the rules.
Now, I just want to give a quick thank you to our sponsors, BCS, Switchplane and CogApp. These guys have made this event possible, and we are excited to share more details with you all later in the show.
Our challenges completed in the qualifiers and get their places here today.
That's right, Richard. Here's the top 8 of the Hacker Rank leaderboard. At number 8, with 35 points, it's Adnan. Last year, he was commentating while I was competing. It seems the roles have been reversed.
And in 7th place, we have Layton with 53 points. And this is Layton's 3rd year in the Coders Cup, so he's well versed.
6th place is Joe at 55 points. Joe's close friends with our number 1 seed. We might see some bitter rivalries forming.
And in our 5th place, we have Kay, our greenest contestant with only 2 years of experience, but his problem-solving skills have risen him up in the ranks quickly.
4th is Jacopo with 75 points. Jacopo is a newcomer to the competitive coding scene, but has been grinding non-stop at Leak Code in preparation for this contest.
And we have Bramble at 3rd with a score of 88. Bramble is actually studying maths. Will this focus give him an edge?
Our 2nd place seed is Roy, who very quickly gained 90 points. Will our surprise candidate give the veterans a run for their money?
And finally, coming at the top with 94 points is Mei, with a solid 59 points ahead of the 8th place. They are the one to watch out for.
That's all the coders ready to fight in the event of the year.
We also have exciting giveaways for you at home to win free exclusive HackSussex Ian Mackey merch.
These giveaways will be your last opportunity as stocks are limited, so make sure to keep watching the stream.
For our first giveaway, all you have to do is show us you're watching by tagging us in your Instagram story and make sure your account is public so we can see it, and the winner will be chosen at randoms after qualifiers.
Good luck, everyone. Very exciting. I've got an Ian Mackey shirt myself. I love it.
Me too.
Now let's take a look at the tournament bracket.
Let's see.
Round 1, Roy versus Layton.
Round 2 is Bramble and Joe.
Round 3, Jacopo versus K.
And finally, we have Mei and Adnan. Enough about the bracket, let's get into it.
To congratulate our 8 finalists, they will all be going home with a HackSussex goodie bag containing a commemorative t-shirt and a mug almost as beautiful as Richard's.
And the winners of this first round will be walking away with an iFixer kit, plus anything they win later on in the rounds.
That's very cool. And the prizes will get better and better, so stay tuned. Right, the first match is about to start.
Shoot, is it time already?
Yes, it is. We have Roy versus Layton.
Oh, that's quite an interesting matchup we have here. Roy is a doctor, I heard.
Yes, that's right, a doctoral student with only 3 years of experience compared to Layton's 5.
Yes, and also Layton has competed 2 years in a streak, you know? Massive advantage right there.
Yeah, that's right, it's his 3rd year competing, as Roy is a complete newbie.
Both of them coding in Python, I see. Well, Python is one of the best programming languages out there.
Well, up for the debate, but why don't we see how our contestants will do in round 1?
I'm here with our first 2 competitors of the day, Roy and Layton. So, Roy, how are you feeling?
I feel very excited about this competition, and I wish we all good luck. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, lovely words there. Now, Layton, you made it to the finals last year. Do you think you can do it again?
I'm really hoping so.
Have some confidence. You got this. Right. Sit behind me then, guys. Take your seats. Sit in your chairs. Okay. Are we ready? Okay, it is time to see who will be taking the first spot in our semi-finals. Time to find out who knows their for loops from their while loops, their ifs from their elses. Let's find out in 3, 2, 1, and code.
And that's our first match of the day.
Right, let's see what the question is. Destination city. You are given the array paths, where paths I equals city AI, city BI. Means there exists a direct path going from city AI to city BI. Return the destination city, that is, the city without any paths going into another city.
And we have examples here. Well, from London to New York, New York to Lima, and Lima to Sao Paulo. Well, the output is going to be Sao Paulo because, you know, and that's just traveling around the whole cities. And
we can see Layton's already got off to a running start.
Okay.
He's created a map that is a hash map, and he's starting a for loop for A, B, and paths.
All right, Baroy, I think is still thinking right now, but I think they're getting somewhere there.
Yeah,
well,
yeah. It's one of those things. Sometimes really taking the question can lead to a quick, short answer. But maybe Layton's approach of just getting some code down will get in there quicker.
But I'm not too sure though, because here we have, if not map contains A, then A equals an empty array. What does that mean? What could that mean?
So first of all, he's checking to see. No, he's
never
deleted
mind.
it.
He's deleted it.
He's gone.
Oh, he's making a set.
Oh, he's using a set.
That's quite an interesting way of doing it.
So rather than keeping a mapping between the starting point and the destination, he's just going for a set of points, perhaps. Oh, I see. He's got in and out.
Okay.
Oh, but let's look at Roy. Now Roy's already started. He's starting for a for loop.
Yes, and he's taking both paths being path 1, path 0, indexed at 0 and 1.
You see, he's made a slightly different approach rather than Layton's previous. Yeah, well, you can see Layton's added it now for A, B in something. He's going straight to directly accessing the subarray. Both will achieve the same solution for this for loop.
They're slightly different methods.
Yeah, I might say Layton's method is a little bit more elegant.
Ooh,
He's
and
commented
got a
it out.
massive comment, yes. Roy is still thinking right now, and we get a nice little return statement saying list and list minus 1, list minus 1.
So what he's doing here, he's returning the last element in the list and the last destination in that sub list. So I think he's trying to cheese out a few answers. Maybe he's hoping that the final destination will be the last one. He passed quite a lot of test cases, 67 out of 100. Not bad.
67 out of 100. That is quite a big feat.
But it's anyone's to play for. And while I've got you all here, I'd just like to quickly remind you all to mention the Coders Cup in your Instagram story for a chance to win that sweet, sweet Ian Mackey shirt.
Yes, I love that Ian Mackey shirt myself also. And yes, please do enter our giveaway because it's a very good giveaway.
Now Roy is seeming to be stuck. He's been on that for loop for a little while now. Layton, he's uncommented some code, so he's got his for loop back with his 2 in and out sets.
However, Layton has 67 test cases out of 100. Well, Roy has 0, which gives Layton definitely the head right there.
Yes, Layton currently strongly in the lead. If it comes to time, Layton will be taking this, but it's whoever can get that 100 first, of course.
Oh, we got an interesting final city string going on with Roy up there.
Yes. So he's bound a variable so we can store the solution. So we've got the boilerplate. We're iterating through the list. We've got somewhere to store the answer. He's just got to figure out the logic to actually get that final city.
We're getting a list comprehension as a return statement for A in the list of outs, and never mind, for B in the list of something. Okay, so we got our first hint.
So they've been given the first hint. Start in any city and use the path to move to the next city. So this is a hint for an approach they might not have considered. Both are certainly Layton seems to be counting making 2 separate sets, one for start cities and one for end cities. But perhaps manually walking from city A to city B would get them the answer they need as well.
But wouldn't that be more inefficient, or would that be better?
This is true. It's always worth considering the complexity of your solution. Yes,
but competition like this?
This is the thing. If it's good enough to pass the test cases, it's good enough. This is not about them.
Whoa!
Layton has Sussex.
Layton has won.
Oh, fantastic!
Fantastic.
He managed to get his list comprehension working in the end.
Yes, list comprehensions are big power tools we have in Python, and it's one of the best things to ever exist. And Layton just used that to snatch that victory.
I think this was closer when we thought. I could see that Roy had written a lot of code. He was getting very close to that answer. It's just that strong initial lead from Layton. It was enough to push it over the edge.
You could at least say that Roy was at least on the right path.
Oh dear. Well, why don't we see how Roy's feeling now?
So, congratulations, Layton. You've won this round, and we'll be seeing you in the next one if you want to head off. And unfortunately, Roy, you haven't made it through to the next round, but you're not going home empty-handed. You get to take this lovely bag with the Coders Cup mug and shirt for this year. Is there anything you want to say to people watching at home?
Wish them all good luck and get a good prize.
Very sweet of Roy there. So, for now, we'll head back to Patrick and Richard in the studio.
All right, we had our first match winning, going to Layton.
Yeah, and now it's time for round 2. We have Bramble versus Joe.
Now this is quite an interesting match because Bramble is actually a mathematician joining the coding competition. That's quite a strange thing.
It is. We all need to have a strong basis in maths, being computer scientists, but we're really going to be seeing, will computer science or maths win the matchup? Have all of us picked the right degree?
Well, you never know. Mathematics is, the fundamentals of computer science. But again, this is also another strange thing. Bramble's actually using JavaScript.
Yes, that's right. The only competitor to not be using Python, which is quite interesting. Bramble actually, their preferred language is OCaml, which they use in the qualifiers quite a lot.
Well, isn't OCaml a functional programming language?
Yes, it's certainly a strange choice. Perhaps it's a math student thing.
Well, yes. Also, there's only 7 years of experience for Bramble and 8 years for Joe. Do you think this will give an edge?
Well, Joe certainly has an extra year on Bramble, but 7 and 8, they're both well-experienced programmers. I'm excited to see how this turns out.
Yeah, I am also very excited to see how this turns out. Let's find out.
Our next two competitors today are Joe and Bramble. So, Joe, you are our first Rust Asian of the day. How are you feeling?
Very nervous.
I'm sure you will be absolutely fine. And Bramble, you're our only non-computer science student who made it through. Math student. So, what made you want to enter?
I like computers, and I wanted a chance to prove I am good at coding.
That's great. Well, I wish you both the best of luck. Now, take your seats behind me. Are we both ready? Ready? All right. It is time to see who will be taking the second spot in our semi-finals. Who knows their statics from their dynamics, their structs from their objects? In 3, 2, 1, and code.
Right, second match of the day. Let's see.
Yeah, what question they got? Check if every row and column contains all numbers. An n by n matrix is valid if every row and every column contains all the integers from 1 to n inclusive. Given an n by n integer matrix, return true if the matrix is valid, otherwise return false.
Well, we got a little cheeky, return 0, passing 25 test
good old
cases.
Return 0.
Yes, good old return
favourite.
0. Well, anyways, about that cheeky return 0, I would just want to go through the example. Here we have an A matrix 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, and the output being true. That's because all of them containing 1, 2, and 3. Well, that's of course.
Now, I know mathematicians are quite fond of their matrices, but there's no multiplication going on today.
Yeah, it's just
I think it could be anyone's game, to be honest.
Yeah, all you need to do is checking the matrix, right?
Yeah. So Joe has started off with 2 for loops, a classic when you're delving through a 2D array, such as a matrix.
I see Joe is trying to print out how the matrix is structured.
Now, Bramble's going through a different approach, interestingly.
Ooh.
They're starting with 1 for loop and then sorting the row that they're going on for. So rather than checking each element individually, they're looking to sort it. That's
quite an interesting take. Quite an interesting take.
To me, that's an unexpected solution, but I could see how that helped, because if you sort 2 rows, you can tell if they contain all the numbers you need, the right list of numbers, by just making sure all of them sort to the same thing.
Yeah, and if there's no sorting that works, then of course they won't contain and the output will be false.
Yeah, because of course 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, in our example, when you sort them, they all become 1, 2, 3.
Oh, could we also try with sets with the matrix, like converting each of the rows as sets?
Well, this is what I'd expect. A set is a great way of making sure 2 bits of data contain the same amount of a given number, because of course the order of the numbers in this example don't matter, it's just what they contain, and that is exactly what a set is for. But I'm not seeing anyone use one yet.
Yeah, that's quite a very interesting thing. But here we have Bramble first sorting out the matrix, then going through a for loop, and if the matrix is not equal to the I, then return false. Okay.
No, I see. Yeah. So this is great, because this is just going to be able to this is going to check all the rows and make sure all the rows have the same set of numbers in them. This is probably going to pass a few test cases, but I don't think they're quite there to solve the entire thing.
Here we have new variable declarations being list and n, list being in a blank list. And Joe, I think, is having some kind of, length of something. Oh, length of the matrix. Could that be useful?
I see, yeah. So first, Joe is finding out what n is, because the question says there is an n, but it's not passed as a parameter, you're just given the matrix. So it'll be useful to figure out what the actual set of numbers you're looking for is. So, and it can also save you a lot of time when coding rather than having to write len matrix open bracket 0 again and again.
Okay, and Bramble is using multiple functions here to check columns. Okay, so there's a check row function and there's a check column function. So this is, but though the check rows is 2 for loops, check for columns, I'm guessing is only 1 for loop.
Well, I would. Well, this is interesting because for the first checking the rows, it's quite easy because you can just sort the subarray. When you're checking columns, it's going to be a bit trickier because you're going to have to take one element from every single array, perhaps construct a new array.
Oh, that could get messy. That could get really messy.
It could get messy. However, I think Bramble hasn't submitted anything yet, but I think they've definitely narrowed down some of the questions.
I think Bramble's on the right track to solving the questions. However, Joe here also having a false and return true statement, though I think false is meant to be capitalized.
Ooh, yes, a minor error with Python trickery.
Well, that's because all booleans have to have capital letters in Python. Well, that's because it's standard to do that for Python.
Yeah, silly language, silly language.
Oh, it's not silly, you know. Oh, come on.
Currently, Joe is in the lead, having returned an empty question. Bramble is yet to run their code yet. I think both of them probably have a small amount of errors, so they're going to need to run it, pick up on those syntax errors.
So
Yeah.
Joe is getting some mad syntax errors.
Yeah. Oh, somebody missed a closing bracket. Oh, the bane of all artists.
Hey, we don't have closing brackets in Python. All we do is indent. Indent with the way through. Here we have some more code. So for Joe's side, it's for I in matrix and for J in matrix I, so aka for row in the matrix and for each column, right?
So it seems that Joe has created a list called valid list, and they are adding in the J. It seems like
both
our
the hints
contestants have been given a couple of hints.
Yes, both the hints have been given.
So the hint is use for loops to check each row for every number from 1 to n, and similarly do the same for each column.
Well, I guess that's how I would have also gone at it. Though I would probably use a set still for this question, because
I think this hint is the more straightforward approach that Bramble is taking, and I think Bramble has. Bramble submitted 26 out of 44 test cases.
Okay, so Bramble is getting somewhere with this.
I'm uncertain, but I think that might be putting them in the lead.
I'm not too sure. The return 0 might have actually gone more past test cases, though.
Potentially. Now, I've noticed Bramble is taking this more straightforward, iterate through the rows, iterate through the columns approach. Now, Joe seems to be doing something similar to what you suggested, almost using a set. They're using this array called valid list, I believe, to check that each row contains one each of the numbers 1 through n.
Yes, and Joe is also finding out what the length of the n is here.
Now, I think they're having an issue because they're using a list. They haven't initialized the list to any particular length. So when they're trying to add any particular element of the matrix to it, they're getting that pesky out of bounds error. I am very familiar with them.
Yes.
Trace backs and seg faults.
It's a nightmare. Here we have a valid matrix, which is defined as a set, which I love using sets because the thing about sets is they're very unique. Like every item in a set is unique though, so they can't be repeating items, and they're also randomly ordered. So there's no real order to a set, it's just a collection of things. You just chuck stuff in a box.
Yeah, I remember I had to I had a lot of trickery getting them to work, to be honest, calculating primes, putting them into a set. And I had all sorts of issues, you know, using a tree-based set for the hash set.
Looks like Bramble is currently, you know, stuck somewhere, but Joe is going at it though. We're having a valid checker here. So if it's valid, then it's true. If the length of the valid, it's true. I think this. Okay.
So when you're checking len valid equals true, what that means is they're checking if it is. Well, that will evaluate to is len even not 0, you know.
Actually, we got a reverse if statement being if not len of valid, returning the false. That's a very smart move. That's a classic if statement.
So what they've done here is I think they're still having some issues with using an array rather than something like a set. So they're trying to add an extra indice for every value they find, and then they're checking the length of this valid array is equal to the number they're expecting. Unfortunately, they're using the wrong data type. They're very tricky, these data types.
Yeah, they can be a big hassle to work with. So JavaScript, how's the data types like that? Because I know in Python you can make some really simple data types by just defining the brackets, but in JavaScript, how is it done?
Well, this is slightly interesting. You see, I think Bramble's actually avoiding any of the more complex data types, although I think Joe has a really clever solution. Unfortunately, the implementation just isn't quite there. There are complexities. There are complexities when it comes to using these data types, whereas Bramble's approach of going, just iterate through, sort the array, check it. It's a little bit brute force.
Yes.
It's a little bit less sneaky clever, but it's definitely keep it simple. Get it done.
And I got my favorite, you know.
Now we're
list comprehension.
Now we're coming down to 1 minute left.
1 minute.
I do believe Bramble is ahead at this moment.
Yes, but Joe can snatch it away at
absolutely.
any time.
Just a few more test cases. 27 out of 44 would be enough to take this.
And I think they are just so close, yet so far away, and they're getting some list out of range errors, like a syntax error. Maybe they might need a bit of, I don't know, a guard clausing or something about the list error. They added one.
Bramble's resubmitted. No, lost one, I believe.
Bramble lost one, yes.
Adding more errors.
But Joe added 1 to the n value for the range.
20 seconds left. Is Joe going to be able to fix the data types?
Oh, they are matched. They are equally matched.
25. Now Bramble still managed to get 26, so they're still just
8 seconds left.
I do believe.
6 seconds left.
5,
and
4,
3, 2, 1, and it's a tie. Bramble wins.
Goes to Bramble. Wow.
It goes to Bramble.
That was really neck and neck at the end there. Managed to inch it out by 1 past test case.
Yes. Bramble did get more test cases, being 26 first, so therefore Bramble won the round.
Yeah, it's a small margin, but it's what counted. I suppose the maths expertise came in handy after all, eh?
Well, mathematics, is the fundamentals of the world and everything. However, let's see how Joe is feeling about the round.
Congratulations, Bramble. You've won this game, and we'll be seeing you again in the next round. Cool. Go. Sadly, Joe, you haven't made it through to the next round. Although there was 1 test case in it. It was so close. But of course, you're not going away empty-handed. You get this lovely bag with a Coders Cup t-shirt and mug. Is there anything you'd like to say before you go?
I don't like Python lists.
That's an entirely valid point. So, if you want to head off, and before we get on to the next round, don't forget that you, Michael.
You're scaring the Michaels.
Susan.
Now you're scaring the Susans.
Bramble,
Bramble just left.
whoever you are, you have a chance to get one of our limited edition Ian Mackey shirts completely free. All you have to do is head over to the HackSussex Instagram page and show us you're watching by tagging HackSussex in your story. We'll be choosing a random winner after the qualifiers, so make sure you get in fast and don't forget to use a public profile when you do it, otherwise you won't be eligible to win.
In the meantime, let's check back in with Patrick and Richard.
You know, I tell you what, Joe, I don't like Python lists either.
Oh, but I do love Python though. Well, anyways, let's see the next round.
Round 3. We've got, now this is a round that's very very near and dear to us. We've got a close friend of mine, Jacopo.
And a close friend of mine, Kay.
Now, these two are very evenly matched, I would say. They both using Python, both have 2 years of programming experience.
And the one difference is that Kay is an AI student and Jacopo was a foundation year student.
They came 4th and 5th in the qualifiers as well. So it's, you know, I don't think anyone can guess how this one's going to go.
Yes, I don't know either, but I'm, you know, rooting for my deep good friend Kay, so I hope he wins.
Yeah, no, let's go see how they do.
Yeah, let's still go and see how they do.
So, our next competitor says that they're a big fan of trashy movies. It's Jacopo. So, Jacopo, what is your favoritist, trashiest movie, and would you recommend it to our viewers at home?
Yes, it's Gone in 60 Seconds, a great movie with Nicolas Cage, and I definitely recommend it.
Great, we'll have to bear that in mind. And facing off against Jacopo is Kay. How do you feel about having made it to the live finals, Kay?
Yeah, glad to be here. Yeah.
Are you confident?
Not really, but I'll try my best.
Good. Right. Take your seats behind me then, guys. Are we ready? Okay. So it's time to find out who will be taking the 3rd place in our semi-finals. Who knows their hardware from their software? Their methods from their functions? In 3, 2, 1, and code.
Okay, here we go.
Yes, yes.
Check if one string swap can make strings equal. You are given 2 strings, S1 and S2, of equal length. A string swap is an operation where you choose 2 indices in a string, not necessarily different, and swap the characters at these indices. Return true if it is possible to make both strings equal by performing at most 1 string swap on exactly one of the strings, otherwise return false.
You know what I call this, Patrick? A good old switcheroo.
Dear.
Well, here we have 2 strings being S1 bank and S2 canab being true. That's a hard word to say. However, what can you do to get this true statement?
Well, quite simply, you swap the first and last letter of canb and you get bank back.
Yeah, so it looks like both of our coders is currently really deep into the thoughts. Well, it's quite a simple yet so difficult question, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very wordy one, this one, I think. It certainly takes a moment to sink all in.
I mean, it's, you know, switching it around, so I'm guessing, well, Python has some really good string manipulation going on with it, so I think they can do this.
This is true, this is true. I mean, I might add, good old C++, very good at dealing with character manipulation, which I think is more of a character than a string question, to be honest.
Yeah, but strings and characters are basically the same thing.
Well, they're the same thing in Python, sure. In a proper language, we actually have character as a data type.
Did you call Python not a proper... never mind. Let's see, we have return false. Yes, you got to caps lock the false. There we go.
There we are. Yeah, so we have Keisuke. I wonder if he's going to submit it, get luck into
Oh,
yeah, there we go.
That's a good old return 0. Working it again.
Yep, so K is currently correct with a little under half of the test cases. View pure luck or, well, pure luck, or perhaps we could consider this a test-driven development style.
We're starting out with a for loop for C in S1, so the for character in string 1.
Oh, it seems the hint has been given.
Yes,
so
the hint has dropped.
The hint is check that the 2 strings have the same set of characters.
Ooh, this is again, I would use a set for this one also. Get all the characters out and then use the set to order them out.
Well, it comes with the name, doesn't it? I see Keisuke has now returned true, has now passed the other half of the test cases.
Really cheeky.
Now, if you could just get them both at the same time, you would have the full set, and that'd be fantastic.
The funny way to do this will be returning both true and false, I'm guessing.
Return a maybe, perhaps. Now, this hint is quite interesting because, of course, when you're making swaps, you're not able to add or remove any characters. So the first thing to tell when you're wanting to test to see if you can swap some characters to make two strings equal is just to make sure, do they both have the right number of characters? I'm never going to be able to rearrange Zoo to become cat.
Yes.
Where does Z go?
Well, you see, Jacopo is actually doing some really interesting stuff here.
Yeah.
So here we have a length of the string in the range. And if the string first character is equal to the string second character, though this could lead on to a problem if the string is not sorted.
Well, I think what he's doing here is he's checking the same indice I in both string 1 and string 2. Now, if they're the same, well, that means that the character's already in the right place. So I think no swaps there.
No swap.
Jolly good. However, if the two are different, well, that must mean that he has to make a change. Now he's doing something interesting here. He's setting a variable j to equal, I believe, I plus 1.
In a while loop.
Ah, he's starting a second loop. So what he's doing here is, I believe he's looking for, so he's found the first incorrect place where the two characters don't match. Now he's going to find the second place where the two don't match.
Okay, so Kay has started coding. He made some comments up to find out what the logic behind it. So the first thing is to check the pairs if they're not the same. Well, that's about the same logic as Jacopo there. Then list up with the index. So I'm guessing, again, the idea of indexing and looking at using the range, of course. And if it's not the same, then he hasn't thought further ahead for that. But as a good start, it's a very good start.
Yeah, I think Kay's he's writing down some comments. He's really planning his strategy ahead of time so that when it goes to coding, he just has to knock it out all in one. He knows it's flawless. He's compiled that code in his head. Now, Jacopo's gone for the approach of just get something down on paper, get some code down, see if it runs, see what happens.
Well, now this is the battle between methodical and brute force.
You see, I think it's definitely a good strategy to think ahead, get things going. Although he has returned a little true and false, so he's got the test cases already. So even though he might be potentially a little bit slower to get his solution coded and submitted, he's already got the test cases in his, in his hands.
Though Jacopov's method is also quite useful because sometimes the easiest way to do it is the straightforwardest way. So Jacopov is going through the range and finding out if the strings equal the same, and also creating a new index called j, which is one bigger than I. While this j is going, he's going to increment j and check, and then just swapping them around. The good old switcheroo.
Now, it seems like the second hint has been dropped now. So, the second hint is the answer is false if the number of non-equal positions in the strings are not equal to 0 or 2.
Okay, so we have a little case here. For I in range on the length of the string, if the string, first letter of the string, is not the same as the first letter of the string, then count it up. If the count is greater than 2, then it's going to be false. Oh, that's actually quite interesting. That's a good way of doing it, because what you're doing essentially is checking the string and you're basically counting it. If there's more than like 2 changes, then the string will never make sense. Is that right, Patrick?
Yeah, I think so. So he's finding the first difference and then he's going to find the second difference.
Though all the Python users so far have fallen to one of the commonest syntax mistake, being not capitalizing the false.
Oh,
Python, yes. In this case, Python is the best to use in this case, I think, personally.
Well, that is definitely debatable. I personally find it can be quite tricky to swap around characters and all that in Python.
I mean, all you have to do is already index the string, and you can just use brackets to find out where the position of the letters are and switch them around. It's not that difficult. And
potentially, but you get some weird issues, you know, not having an individual character data type. It's quite nice in a language like good old C++, where characters are treated as an integer with their ASCII value. So it means you can do nice stuff, like you can add 1 to a character to go from A to B.
It just doesn't cut it to like you know, Python string manipulation, character manipulation. Well, though C++ is still good. Nevertheless, we got our bug fixed here. Like, we got the name error. Did he mean false with a capital?
Oh, I see what Jacopo's doing. So
Okay.
what he's doing here is he's taking the first string and finding the first letter that is out of place. And then he's going through and finding the second letter that's out of place. He's then doing the swap and comparing to see if one swap was enough to make the strings equal. This is a clever approach. He's seeing a couple of errors, but if he can iron them out, I think he's got a shot for it.
Yes, I think he's definitely got the logic behind the code. However, we got 2 new variables saying S1 not, S2 not, which both of them being a array type.
Ah, yes, I see. I see K is he's going for the counting method. So he's counting, I presume he's going to count the number of differences between S1 and S2 and doing what our handy dandy hint said, returning false if there are more than 2 errors in the strings.
So if it's counting related, then I would definitely imported counters from the counting library, and you know, that could also help out, I think, in this case. Though it might be tricky though. Libraries are always tricky with Python.
Now, K is working his hardest to manage to get all the test cases at the same time. However, he is currently in the lead. Now, we've only got 2 minutes left, so it may come down to pre-planning that test-driven development style.
Though also that returned false at the start, which was really good. I mean,
Jacopo seems to have deleted a large amount of code.
Yes.
He seems to be taking a different approach. He's going for the counting approach as well.
Okay, so now we're both doing the same approach.
Yes, that's it. Now K has a bit of a head start over Jacopo, changing Jacopo has now got 46 out of 47 test cases.
Taking K out of the lead.
Yes, that's right. With just over 1 minute remaining, currently Jacopo is in the lead. Now,
if he
there's
gets
one more test case to go, so K might be able to snatch it back.
Yes, he still has a massive chance if he just gets that logic that, like, yes, he's doing, oh, never mind, he's not more commenting more, he's actually doing an if statement here. Though Jacopo still has 1 more test cases. Oh, it's very close, it's very close.
What's happened. Jacopo has forgotten the first hint. He hasn't checked to make sure that the 2 strings actually have the same lot of letters. Oh, Keisuke's got submission now. Only 32 test cases.
It's not far off. It's not far off.
It's a definite improvement. He's doing better than just his blind luck. Wow, we are getting a lot of results happening in the last minute.
And I mean, like, Jacopo is just 1 test case away, but K can still snatch it away because he's still got 32, like, passed, which is quite an impressive feat.
Wow, we've got 10 seconds left to go. Will either of them be able to get this one singular final test case?
Come on, K, and
Jacopo
has won! Yes, at the nick of time.
Wow!
Wow!
That was fantastic.
That was fantastic.
Managed to get that final test case in the last second. Oh, I think everyone is going wild in the studio.
Yes, that was a very intense
racing.
match. Oh, I didn't know that was going to be that intense. I mean, K had 32 test cases, which was quite impressive also.
Yes, both of them. Both of them got so close, and he managed to get it in the very last second. Wow, that's a massive well done to Jacopo there.
Though it is unfortunate for Kay to lose, and also quite like an intense battle. But let's see what Kay has to say about the match.
So, congratulations, Jacopo. You've won this game and we'll be seeing you in the next round. Thank you. Now, sadly, Kay, you didn't make it through. I did notice that right at the beginning, you got half the test cases. And then you got the other half of the test cases. I think the only issue you had was getting all of them at once. But you're not going home empty-handed. You do, of course, get the lovely HackSussex bag with the Coders Cup shirt and mug in there. Is there anything you want to say to the people watching at home?
I did what I could do, at least.
It was close. You almost had it. Almost. For now, though, let's check back in with Patrick and Richard.
All right, it's the final match of the quarterfinals. Let's see who it is.
Right, this is an exciting one. We've got our number 1 seed Mei,
and our number 8 Adnan.
Now this is an interesting one for me because of course Adnan was commentating last year and he was always rooting against me. He's got something out for me.
Well, Mei does have 11 years of experience, which is crazy, by the way, because that's half my life, basically.
Yeah, she was consistently voted the most likely to win by the other contestants. I hope Adnan really gets to feel what it's like being on the other side of the screen.
Though Adnan, I think, still has a massive shot at this, as he is quite intelligent and probably, can snag that easy victory.
Yeah, he's got skills. I'm not going to deny it, but my money's still on Mei. I hope she shows him who's boss.
Well, let's see whose skills is better to find out. Let's go and see the match.
Now, the first of our final 2 competitors of round 1 is Mei. So, according to your GitHub and your Discord, you do not think, therefore you do not am. Will you be making an exception to this today?
Absolutely not.
Great. Wonderful. And up against Mei is Adnan. So Adnan was one of last year's presenters. So is it weird being in this studio rather than behind a desk watching what's going on?
It's just different, but I mean, same thing, right? So, yeah.
Great. Well, good luck to you both. Would you like to take your seats behind me? Are we ready? Ready? All right, so it is time to find out who's going to take the last semi-final place. Who knows their arrays from their lists? And who knows their mouse from their keyboard? In 3, 2, 1, and code.
Okay, let's see what we got now. Number of rectangles that can form the largest square. This is a wordy one. You are given an array of rectangles where rectangles I equals Li and Wi. Represents the ith rectangle of length Li and width Wi. You can cut the ith rectangle to form a square with side length k if both k is less than or equal to the length and less than or equal to the width. For example, if you have a rectangle 4 by 6, you can cut it to get a square with a side length of at most 4. Ooh, Mei's already submitted 0 past test cases. Right, so let max len be the side length of the largest square you can obtain from any of the given rectangles, return the number of rectangles that can make a square with side length of max len. Oh boy.
Essentially, it's rectangles to squares. Well, that's not that difficult if you imagine it, because think about it. The inputs here we have is 5, 8, 3, 9, 5, 12, and 16, and 5, each of them being the rectangle's width and the height. Here we have output of 3, because you can make 3 squares that is size of 5.
Oh, now this is interesting. Mei has submitted 2 lines of code and managed to get 2 test cases, putting her into the lead. Adnan is still mulling over the question.
Now this is a very interesting statement because we have a map function taking the minimum, right, and the rectangles. So we're essentially looking at each minimum of the rectangles, which is the right method to go. That's a very, very good start.
So what Mei has done here is she is taking, she's creating a mapping between the minimum and the rectangles. So what she's, interesting, so she's creating a map which is taking the minimum value of whatever the rectangle is, so the shorter side. Then she's figuring out what the biggest square possibly is.
Well, Mei here is taking a more, one-liner approach. Adnan is taking more of a long, methodical, brute force style, taking a for loop between the length and the width in rectangles, which is a quite reasonable way of doing this problem.
So it seems like Adnan's creating a list of the sizes of the squares, and then he's going to figure out what the maximum length is. But anyway, you guys should enter the giveaway for the Ian Mackey merch. Yes. Put your story on the Instagram and you shall win an Ian Mackey shirt. Oh, Adnan submitted 0 test cases, unfortunately. Mei's still in the lead with 2 test cases passed. Now, her final return statement, she's got a little bit of list comprehension.
Yes.
She's returning the length of a list constructed out of I, where I is, where for each I, she wants her I to be equal to the highest, for the highest element.
So here we have, an I, if it's greater or equal to the highest, though this is such a, one-liner of, that Mei is trying to do here. Well, one-liner, such a short amount of code. Though we have for L and W being length and width in rectangles, the square size, append that, the maximum value of the length and the width. So whichever one is the max, the bigger one, will be appended to the square sizes and print the square sizes.
Now, I think Mei and Adnan have a relatively similar approach, except Adnan is going for the sort of the classic for loop, go through, append end an element, print the sizes of he's printing his array so he can debug a bit, I think. Now, Mei, they're going for the clever one-liner list comprehension approach. I wonder if it's going to be I wonder if it's going to hurt them a bit.
Well, Python's biggest strength is this one-liners, or it's about the one-liner slick, code and stuff like that. Though Python, you can also do long, big blocks of code.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. You may be able to type some of these fancy-smancy list comprehensions really quickly, but you still have to have the core logic behind them. So perhaps the slow and steady method is what it takes.
And there it is. From collections, import the counter. There it is. I knew it was going to come out sometime.
Very sneaky. The controversial counter in past years. This elite tool has actually been banned. It's recently been re-allowed. Oh, it seems like both of the hints have been given.
Okay.
So, hint number 1. The largest square is equal to min, rectangle length, and rectangle width. Replace each rectangle with this value. So this is simply stating how we can figure out what the largest square we can cut out from our rectangle. Because of course we don't want to be cutting both sides down. We only want to trim down the longest one.
Well, if you want to visualize this, just cut out rectangles from paper and then just draw out the numbers, and then you can do it. Though I don't think they are given paper and scissors in the match, so that's going to be quite difficult for them.
Now, the second hint is to find max len by iterating over the largest squares, and then iterate again to find how many squares are equal to this value.
Okay, so Mei is doing a filter method, like a filtering going on here. So essentially trying to filter out all the highest highest lengths, I'm guessing. Yeah.
I think Mei has actually managed to do sort of 2 out of the 3 steps with just a couple lines. First of all, they found the selection of squares you can have with this little map min rectangles function. Then they found the highest square you can get with max squares. It's just that last line that seems to be eluding them.
Just last line, yeah, so close yet so far away. Well, here we have another for loop being K and V in the square size. Oh, and Mei smashed it. Oh, that was, yes, that was quite elegant.
Yeah, absolutely. Mei's elegant solution may have required a little bit of debugging, but they managed to sneak out the win while Adnan was taking the slow and steady approach.
This is why Python is one of the best languages, because those one-liners, elegant, list comprehension is what makes this possible, you know?
Yeah, I hope Adnan has learned his lesson a bit, you know. Not as easy as it looks, is it?
It's not easy as it does look, though I've never competed, so I don't know. Yeah. Well, let's see what Adnan is feeling about this, though, because it was a quite rough question on doing on code.
So congratulations, Mei. You've won this game and we'll be seeing you again in the next round. Now, unfortunately, Adnan, you haven't made it through to the next round. Funnily enough, I remember I ran into you yesterday and asked if you're feeling confident, and you said, yeah, I'm definitely going to win, as long as Mei turns up 5 hours late. Quite the prediction there. But you're not going home empty-handed. You get this lovely bag with the Coders Cup shirt and mug in it. That's yours to take home. Do you have anything you want to say to the audience before you go?
No, I mean, I was pretty close. Mei's super talented, so losing to Mei is definitely not something I'm disappointed at. Yeah.
Cool. A very gracious exit there from Adnan. Now, remember, if you want to get yourself a free Ian Mackey t-shirt, make sure you take part in our giveaway now. These shirts are limited edition and our stocks are low, so this is your last chance to get one, or else you'll come to regret missing this opportunity for all of your mortal days, and so be consumed by an ever-present longing for the possibility of what could have been.
You want to tell them how...
To take part, all you have to do is show us you're watching by tagging us in your Instagram story. Make sure this is from a public account, and we'll be choosing one lucky winner at random before the start of the next round. In the meantime, let's check back in with Patrick and Richard.
And that's a quarters final smashed. So let's have a recap, people. What we have here is Layton going forward.
Yep, that's right. Carrying on with his third year here.
Yes, but Roy still had a big fight against Layton, and I think Roy did really well.
Then of course we saw Bramble take it away from Joe. Joe is not going to get that third place ace spot like they wanted, unfortunately.
Yeah. Though they did say they don't like Python syntax there, so, well, but anyways, but Bramble being a mathematician was quite an impressive feat on a coding cup competition.
Very good, representing maths. And then of course round 3, we had Jacopo, my mate, taking it over K, your mate.
Though it was very, very intense, very close. K was just behind Jacopo's trail, it was just one more minute, I think K could have won.
Maybe, but when you need minutes, the seconds count. And of course, we just saw Mei absolutely smash it against Adnan.
Absolutely smash it again with an elegant list comprehension, and absolutely just getting it all and done, you know?
Yeah. Right, now don't forget to follow us on our Instagram at HackSussex and join the community over on our Discord so you can keep up with the excitement.
The Coders Cup is brought to you by BCS, Switchplane and CoGAP.
BCS, the British Computing Society, are the Chartered Institute for IT. They are the representatives for people working in computing. If you aren't familiar with them yet, you should be. After all, they are the ones accrediting our degrees.
We are also sponsored by CoGAP. They are dedicated to crafting a digital landscape that is both intuitive and enriching. Whether it's museums, galleries, libraries, or archives, they partner with leading cultural institutions to enhance their digital presence.
We'll hear more about our final sponsor later on, but now it's time for a quick break.
Well, see you later in 15 minutes to find out who won the giveaway.
Right, time for a cuppa.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Coders Cup 2024.
The giveaway is now closed. Congrats to Kobe Carnage for winning the Ian Mackey t-shirt. Keep an eye out for a message from our HackSussex team to claim your prize.
But don't you worry, because you have another chance for this giveaway. Just put your question for our remaining contestants in the YouTube chat now to be entered. All right.
So in round one, once again, we saw Layton take it home against Roy.
In round two, we had Bramble, the mathematician, take it home for the semi-finals.
And then we saw Jacopo very narrowly beating out Keisuke.
Yes, very intense match also. And finally, we had Mei take the win against Adnan.
Yeah, show me his boss. Right.
Okay, we are very excited for semi-finals, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Yes, yes. Okay, so we have Layton versus Bramble and Jacopo versus Mei.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a very interesting match. I mean, like, I'm really excited for this. Well, the quarterfinals are done and dusted.
And once again, massive well done unto Roy, Joe, Keisuke and Adnan for proving you're one of the top 8 programmers at Sussex.
Well, this leaves our semi-finalists with Layton, Bramble, Mei and Jacopo.
The winners of this round will be walking home with a Raspberry Pi retro gaming kit, as well as a 3D printing pen.
No way, that's way too cool. I love playing arcade games. They're my favorite.
Oh yeah, Raspberry Pis are fantastic for gaming. There are Linux distros dedicated to running emulators, and
I know Raspberry Pi is so cool. So what is Linux? Well, anyways, we ain't got time for that. Let's look at this first semi-final match.
Oh yeah, let's go then. All right, we have Bramble versus Layton.
Okay, so this is a very interesting matchup. Well, Bramble is more experienced apparently in 7 years of programming.
Yeah, that's right. A mathematician has made their way through.
Yes. But, technically Layton is more experienced in the Coders Cup because he has been going the last 2 years.
I believe both of these contestants are quite fond of Rust, although I think Layton is the biggest Rustacean out of the two.
Well, that's a bit, I hope they're not too rusty for the coding. Well, let's see. Well, let's go and find out who's going to win the first match of the semi-finals.
I was just scrolling my Instagram.
I'm here with Layton and Bramble. So, Layton, did you think you'd make it this far?
Oh, no, not at all.
Well, are you glad that you did?
Hell yeah.
Wonderful. And Bramble, are you surprised? Are you glad you made it this far?
A bit, considering I haven't written much JS lately.
Well, and how confident are you feeling that you're going to beat Layton in this round?
50-50. We'll see.
All right then. So good luck, you guys. Take your seats behind me, please. Are we ready? Yep. Wonderful. Okay, who is going to be the first one to take a spot in our final? Find out in 3, 2, 1, and code.
And so technically it's GNU with Linux.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway. What we got? Maximum score from removing stones. You are playing a solitaire game with 3 piles of stones, sizes A, B, and C respectively. Each turn you choose 2 different non-empty piles, take 1 stone from each, and add 1 point to your score. The game stops when there are fewer than 2 non-empty piles, meaning there are no more available moves. Given 3 integers, A, B, and C, return the maximum score you can get.
Okay, I guess we are skipping some stones. Sorry about that. But anyways, look at the example. We have input A equals 2, B equals 4, and C equals 6. Well, the output being 6, Well, this is because there are fewer than 2 non-empty piles, so the game ends with 0.6.
Now, intuitively, this sort of makes sense. If we add 2, 4, and 6, we get 12, and we know we're taking 2 stones at a time, so the best score we could ever expect would be half of 12, 6. But I wonder if there more comes to it than that.
Yes, Layton has already started coding with a list being A, B, and C, which is, of course, quite intuitive because A has 3 values. And, ooh, we got a sorted list. Okay.
Okay, so we're starting by sorting them.
Oh,
and I think
Bramble
Bramble, so they've both got the same approach, sorting them, presumably so we can figure out which pile's the biggest, which one's the smallest. Perhaps that goes into their strategy.
Yes, and we're getting the last element minus the first element, which is, again, another very interesting approach. But let's see what's going on. So the result is getting added on. So Layton is doing some clever little mathematical things going on. And Layton's already gone 59 test cases. That's quite impressive, yeah.
So quite a few already, but he mustn't have understood the full strategy of the game if he's, well, he's losing almost half the time. It's not great odds if I'm being honest.
Yes, and let's see what Bramble is at. So if sorted plus sorted I is greater than sorted 2, so is that 1 or an I?
That's a 1. So I think Bramble, yeah. So if the 2 smallest elements are greater than or equal to the biggest element, you return whatever the greatest element is.
Well, here we have Bramble running the code with 52 test cases, and Layton is actually rerun the code and got 62 test cases.
Now Bramble has got quite a few now, but they haven't quite beat Layton yet. Layton is in the lead with the most test cases, but neither contestant has found the optimal solution.
Yes, it's actually quite impressive that it hasn't even been 1 minute basically, and Layton's already got 62 test cases, which is more than the half, I'm pretty sure.
But interestingly, both of the contestants are taking the more strategic approach to this. They're figuring out which is the biggest pile, which is the smallest pile, and then they're sort of calculating the solution from there, rather than, you know, taking 2 piles and then considering it. They're not playing this game out, they're not simulating it, they're thinking ahead, which I like.
Okay, so Layton is going to go for a different approach. He deleted some couple of codes. So we see using an any statement with a list comprehension inside the any statement, which being x for x in I if x is greater than 0. So if the x value is greater than 0, then give it to me, basically. Oh, actually changing from any to length. Okay, very interesting.
This is quite a complex statement we got here.
And, well, we can say it's the length of any of the stones. Well, yeah, any of those stones. I mean, they're sorted, mind you. Okay, never mind.
Oh,
we removed it.
Completely deleted it.
Yes, we are taking the length of the list, which is greater than the list. Then we're doing the last element added on to taken away from the first element. Yes.
Okay. So what he's doing is he's got his 3 piles of stones, and he's saying, while we've still got 2 piles of stones, take the biggest pile and subtract however many there are in the smallest pile. And then we're adding to our running total however many stones are in that smallest pile. So he's sort of making every single move at once.
Okay, so this is quite interesting.
Okay, and now what he's doing is he's removing any piles from his list if they're equal to 0, if they're empty.
Well, yeah, that makes sense because you can't put empty stuff into a pile, right?
Yeah. So as soon 62 again.
Same again.
Hasn't quite managed it.
But still ahead of Bramble. Well, let's see. What Bramble is doing with the function.
Now, while you're still watching, don't forget, if you have any questions, if you think you have a great solution or any advice, or just want to hear what the contestants have to say, don't forget to ask a question to them in the YouTube comments. You might win a nice little prize.
Yes, that sweet Mackie shirt. You know, top class shirt.
Oh, it seems the contestants have been given a couple of hints. So the first hint is to attempt to simulate the problem. Go through the simulation step by step. And both of our contestants sort of glossed over that answer.
Yes.
They both went for the more analytical, mathematical answer to start with. But I think Layton is, he's going for a similar approach, simulating it. But he's cheating a bit. He's doing all his moves at once rather than one at a time, which is interesting.
Yes, that's again back to Python's amazing list comprehension. And here we can see that Layton is also sorting it while using a list comprehension, which is a quite complicated task to do at once, but once done correctly, it will be so elegant.
Now the second hint is it's always optimal to remove one stone from the biggest two piles. Now Bramble is sticking to their guns, going for that mathematical solution, as you might expect from a math student. Now Layton's sort of semi-simulated, slightly cheaty approach, where he's doing all of his goes in one big block. May be close to a solution, but this hint might be enough to push him over the edge, because he's only been taking piles away from the biggest and the smallest pile. He's not taking stones away from the two biggest piles.
Okay, so Layton has one more thing to do to snatch home that victory. Okay. Well, Bramble here still doing the whole taking the biggest and the smallest pile, but again, might be also doing the same problem with the biggest pile. Here.
It might be a very small change. Ooh! 113 test cases from Layton now.
Okay.
Getting further and further ahead. Now that is...
Like, you know, so close, yet so far away. Only 5 more test cases and Layton can get that sweet, sweet victory, you know?
Now Layton's got... Oh, and there he goes!
And that was the sweet, sweet victory!
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I was... You know, although Layton got a strong lead from the start, that really could have gone either way. I think Bramble was very close to the mathematical solution.
Yes.
I think at any moment they could have modified one little character and got them all at once.
Yes, but Layton was still like genius when it comes to list comprehension and using the sorted, like each functions in Python to their advantage and win, you know, the round.
Yeah, Layton clearly had some good familiarity with Python and some and explored all the methods as well, considering the mathematical approach, considering the iterative approach.
Yes.
Eventually found the way forward.
Well, Bramble, being a mathematician, it's very impressive they came this far, but let's see what they have to say.
So, congratulations, Layton. You've won this game and we'll be seeing you again in the finals.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. And Bramble, sadly, you've not made it through to the finals, but you're not going anywhere yet, because we'll see you again at the end of this round to see if you can take home the 3rd place prize. So for now, let's check back in with Patrick and Richard.
Okay.
We're now on to our second game of the semi-finals.
Yes, the second game, very, very exciting. Well, let's see who the finalists is going to be. One of them was already found out, being Layton.
Yep, and now we're going to find out our second finalist. Will it be Jacopo or will it be Mei?
Well, Mei is very, very, very skilled, but I wouldn't put it past against Jacopo because Jacopo is also quite skilled when it comes to Python and stuff like that, you know?
Absolutely. The foundation year really knows how to churn out quality students. I'm not biased.
Oh, yes, me too. I'm not biased also. Here we have, again, I do like the cat of Jacopo's images, by the way. It's really cute cat.
Yes, actually, I think we've got 2 cat lovers participating today. What is it? Maybe it's a dragon. A dragon certainly acting a bit like a cat.
Well.
It's the same cute charm, I think.
Well, enough about the cats. they're both very, very skilled, and I'm really excited to see this match, I'm not going to lie.
But I think nobody has quite as much experience as Mei. That 11 years, the most experience out of any of our contestants,
But
dwarfs Jacopo a bit.
Well, experience is not the only matter in this game. You know, it's all about the thinking, the process, the question. Everything matters in this game. So Jacopo, I think, could easily win also.
Still, it's could be anyone's game. We never know. We've seen surprises before. Why don't we see how it turns out?
Okay, it's now time to find out who's going to face Layton for the crown. I'm here with Jacopo and Mei. So, Jacopo, did you think you'd make it this far?
No.
Absolutely not.
Are you confident?
Against Mei, not so much.
Daddy, chill.
Well, you've made it this far. And Mei, how are you feeling?
A little nervous.
Nervous? Confident? Well, two rather non-confident contestants, but take your seats behind me. Are we ready? All right then, it's time to find out who's going to be our second finalist. In 3, 2, 1, and code.
All right, our second semi-finals game.
Okay, we've got another question involving rocks. This time, maximum bags with full capacity of rocks. You have n bags numbered from 0 to n-1. You are given 2 zero-index integer arrays, capacity and rocks. The ith bag can hold a maximum of capacity I rocks and currently contains rocks I rocks. You are also given an integer additional rocks, the number of additional rocks you can place in any of the bags. Return the maximum number of bags that could have full capacity after placing the additional rocks in some bags.
Well, here we have an example being A equals 2, B equals 4, and C equals 6, and the output being 6.
I think this is a lot to take in this question because we've got 2 arrays and a consideration for another integer, the amount of rocks to fill. So I think where the last question, maybe there was a elegant.
Okay, looks like we are having some technical difficulties right now, and the timer has stopped.
It has been stopped, yeah.
Oh, they're going back?
No, everything's been fixed. Timer's back on.
That's quite funny because when Mei typed out sorted, I guess everything got sorted out. So that's all calm.
Yeah. So I think the last question may have had quite an elegant solution with just a couple of lines with some pre-planning. I think this question, you're going to have to sift through a bit of data, so you're going to definitely need to take a different approach.
Though, not going to lie, we have Mei with a list and a sorted function using, okay, so they're taking C minus R for C and R in the zip of the capacity, and I'm guessing, I can't see what the other one is.
No, I think both of them are actually taking the capacity and subtracting the amount of rocks that could fit in that bag.
Yes.
The difference is Jacopo going for the classic sort of for loop, and Mei using list comprehension. So they've both clearly got the same strategy. They're both ending up with an array of rocks where we just know the amount of rocks left to put in the bags.
Okay, well that's quite an interesting approach from both of them. Though, honestly, I mean, Mei is very skilled with, list comprehension and all of that, but Jacopo is still quite intelligent, so I think he can still win.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they both have the same result. They've got the remaining space left in the bags, and they've both sorted it as well. So they're starting from the bottom and going up.
Well, Patrick, I have a question for you. Do you think these questions are harder than last year's?
That is a good question, because I remember when I was doing the semi-finals last year, I really struggled. Mei and I actually ended up with a narrow tie, and I got by just by having one past test case.
Oh yes, I remember Adnan was also commentating you and Mei's match, and that was a quite interesting match. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And here, well, we got more code from Mei's side and Jacopo's side. On Mei's side, we have the for capacity in the remaining capacity, so checking if there's any capacity remaining, and for the rock in the sorted of the original rocks, if the rock is less than or equal to the capacity, then remove the rock from the capacity, and then the additional rocks also remove that. And on Jacopo's side, also it's the same logic, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's pretty similar. He's taking his additional rock. Ooh. So this is interesting. He's using a while loop rather than a for loop. So while you've still got additional rocks left, the amount left is greater than 0. You subtract the rock you're on. So starting with the smallest rock, subtract that from the amount of rocks left, and then increment I and keep going through, finding subtracting rocks, and then finally he's returning. Interesting. Capacity count 0. So the number of bags that have been completely filled, number of bags that now have 0 space remaining in them. That's an interesting way of finding the number.
Yes. Oh, but we got one test case. Well, that's one more than 0, I'm guessing.
Yep. That's it's not a great start so far. I'm going to be honest, but one past test case is sometimes all it takes, as I am well aware.
Okay, and Mei is going to the while statement. Oh, we're getting massive print statements going on here.
Now, Jacopo appears to be printing the list of rocks. This is a valid method of debugging. However, the capacity can get quite large. You may end up with, I think, potentially 10,000, 1 million bags.
Yeah, for me, that is a bit too rocky for me,
Interestingly, both contestants are using a while loop and saying while additional rocks is greater than 0. So they're both actually writing very similar code.
Now
the hints have been dropped. Yes, that's right. So, first of all, it's optimal to always remove. You can get the remaining capacity by doing capacity I minus rock size for each element in capacity. I think both contestants sussed that out pretty early.
Yes, they have already.
Had similar code.
Ooh, Jacopo with the 106 test cases, only 2 more to go, and then he can be a finalist. Ooh,
that is very close. However, there's still 2 more test cases. May could definitely catch up at this point.
Yes, definitely. There's like 5 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. There's plenty of time for me to catch up.
Now, the second hint. The solution is greedy, a technical competitive coding term. Try sourcing the acquired list and subtract additional rocks from each element while additional rocks is not 0, and return the number of zeros in the list. This is very close to Jacopo's strategy.
Like, honestly, very, very close. Though Mei hasn't printed out just yet. Though, our first
0 out of 108 test cases.
This is quite rough for Mei, I guess. Yeah, it's a bit too rocky. Oh, sorry, again. I can't handle the puns, Yeah.
It's interesting. I wonder where the bug in Jacopo's code is. There must be a slight flaw in the logic somewhere.
Yes, but however, Jacopo really going for the simplicity and not using the Python's list comprehensions and stuff like that to get the case across, of course.
And all of you, don't forget to ask your question in the YouTube comments. You can win one of those t-shirts. They're not going to be around for long. Get the question in.
Yeah, the Makita shirt. That's a good shirt to own. Here we also, so Jacopo is very close yet so far away, and Mei is very far away right now. Patrick, this question, would you answer it? How would you answer it?
Well, this is quite interesting. You see, I hadn't considered just setting the capacity of each element in the array to 0. That's a perfectly valid option, but you have to go back into the array and recount the number of there he goes!
Wow.
Oh, he fixed the bug.
He
managed to get those final 2 test cases.
Yes, as impressive as 11 years of programming is, it's just quite not there to beat Jacopo's genius.
It goes to show nothing can beat Richard Handy's tutelage.
Yes, nothing can beat Richard Handy. But yeah, that was quite a good match though. Mei was going for a more complicated route, but still I don't think it was a bit too complicated for Mei to figure out.
Yeah, why don't we go and see how Mei's feeling after this match?
Congratulations, Jacopo. After dancing very close to a solution for a while there, you managed to crack it. You've won this game and we'll be seeing you in the next round.
Thank you.
And Mei, unfortunately, you've not made it through to the next round. But you're not really going anywhere yet because we're about to have you back in here to see if you can take away our 3rd place prize. Before we move on though, we have an important message we'd like to share with our audience at home. This is Amy. Amy is a 2nd year computer science student. For almost half the year, she has to wrestle with the Brighton public transport system to attend classes, do coursework and exams, and work towards her degree. On top of all of this, she has to think of interesting questions to ask far more competent programmers live on air. But for the price of just a few keystrokes, you can help Amy by sending a question in the chat of this YouTube live stream for us to ask our finalists. Send us your questions to our finalists now, and if your question is chosen, you'll help Amy get out of doing that much work for the script of the show, and in return, you'd receive a limited edition Ian Mackey shirt by HackSussex.
So, for now, let's check back in with Patrick and Richard.
Congrats to the winners of the semi-finals. Contestants who did not pass the next round will still have a chance to battle it out for 3rd place.
Yes, the winners of this will win a copy of the 1995 film Hackers starring John Lee Miller and my favourite Angelina Jolie.
Oh, enough of your fangirling, Richard. We've got an exciting match coming up, we do.
Yes,
so it's going to be E.
Okay, here we have our 3rd place match coming up with Bramble versus Mei.
We just saw Mei get knocked out by Jacopo, and we see now we've got a Bramble from our previous semi-final match, losing out to Joe.
So this is quite a surprise. Oh, I think we are just updating the brackets just now, and we should be updating soon. But yes, this is... Oh, okay, we got our 3rd place matchup. Okay, let's see, shall we? Okay. Well,
so I say we got our maths student coming back. 3rd place.
Yeah,
I think that could be a reasonable result.
No, I didn't expect this, because still 3rd place as being a mathematician in a coding competition is still a quite big feat.
This is Mei's 2nd time participating in the 3rd place bout now. They might be in with a chance to win another copy of the 1995 film Hackers starring Angelina Jolie and Johnny Lee Miller.
Well, why not own 2 copies of the Hackers film that starring John Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie? But yes, let's see how this 3rd place is gonna, go, and who's gonna win the pressured prize of the film Hackers.
Angelina Jolie and Johnny Lee Miller.
Yes.
Back for our 3rd place round, which of course comes with a copy of the 1995 film Hackers for the winner. Here it is. So, Bramble, how do you feel about this classic Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie film?
I don't really watch films, so don't know.
Well, if you win this, then you'll get to find out. And welcome back, Mei. What is your favourite thing about this terrible, terrible movie?
I don't know, I haven't seen it.
That seems like all the more reason to win it, so then you can experience this wonder. So, would you like to take your seats behind me? Are we ready? All right. Okay, it is time to see who is leaving with the Hackers VHS and who is not. In 3, 2, 1, and code.
You know, Richard, we got a lot of feedback from previous contestants that weren't happy with the DVD of the 1995 film Hackers starring Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie.
What? Oh, I would have watched the DVD until it scratched. Though I didn't want that to happen, though.
Don't worry, we've made improvements. This year, we got the VHS version of the 1995 film Hackers starring Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie.
No way! The VHS version of the film Hackers 1995 film Hackers starring John Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie. Oh, this is gonna be... I don't have to worry about scratching it then. Yeah!
Anyway, coding. Right, word pattern. Given a pattern and a string S, find if S follows the same pattern. Here, follows means a full match, such that there is a bijection, one-to-one correspondence, between a letter in pattern and a non-empty word in S.
Okay, so here we have a pattern being A, B, B, A, and a S being dog, cat, cat, dog. Oh, this is quite an interesting pattern, isn't it?
It seems both contestants have started writing code. Mei has quite a lot, 4 lines already to Bramble's 1.
1 line. Well, let words be... Oh, so Bramble's going to be splitting apart the words, which is quite an interesting way of doing it.
I see both of them have actually split apart
Yes.
the string. Both using split, although different languages. So
Yes.
this is a method that is common to both JavaScript and Python.
Yes, but Python's string manipulation is, again, number first, the best out there. So I don't know, Bramble's going to have a rough one with this.
Well, you may think that, but it's clear that Python's getting a run for its money today.
I mean, still, I think Mei's got the third prize win, but I still believe in Bramble also.
So Mei is zipping together the patterns and the words. So
Okay.
this is a nice little feature of Python where you can iterate over 2 lists at the same time.
Yes, the zip function is just zipping 2 things together and bang, got a zip folder or something. Here we have a... Oh, okay, so this is even more interesting. Okay, lambda is getting used. Okay, so lambda is our anonymous functions and Mei is mapping through each anonymous function. Oh, and we got 92 test cases out of 141. Yes, iterating through each each value in the array and then applying a function to it.
I think both of our contestants are actually using mappings at this point.
Oh.
Mei clearly has code that is somewhat finished, at least submitted, and the most test cases so far.
Mm-hmm.
There's clearly something they're overlooking here, though.
There's something clearly that's just not there, but just there. So like they can find out. They can definitely find out.
I think yeah, I think it's interesting. I think Bramble. We have to see what Bramble's going to do here. Because
Okay, Patrick, I think there's another way to look at this problem, though. We can, instead of using A, B, B, A, we can say 1, 2, 2, 1, right? And we can, the first letter of the dog, which is being D, can be replaced as 1, and cat, which is a different letter, being replaced to 2. So it would be 1, 2, 2, 1, which is the same thing as 1, 2, 2, 1, so therefore return true.
Yeah,
that's how it would go.
It's certainly possible to replace each word like that. Personally, if I were to do it, I like the mapping idea, but Mei certainly is mapping all of the elements at once, which I think you could get potentially some issues. What if the pattern was a different length to the number of words? I'd go iteratively. I'd start at the first element, map it there, and then carry on. And if I ever find a mistake in the map, well, they can't be equal, can they?
Well, there's a lot of maps going around here. Well, I don't know where I can find Dora the Explorer, but here. Oh,
now
okay.
Bramble's taken the lead.
Yes,
137 test cases.
Yes, and Mei's having a syntax error with a key error, actually, of being B, which I think she's missing it somewhere. But yes, Bramble is right now in the lead, just a few test cases away.
Now Bramble's taking the approach that I think I potentially would go for. This iteration through each element, updating the map, and checking to see if the new word is what we expect it to be.
Oh, we're getting a triple equals. Oh, sorry. Like, yeah, an exclamation mark double equal, which is quite the thing. Okay, still 137 out of 141 test cases.
I think both of them are quite close. I wonder if either of them have figured out the test case, that like one little edge case where the key and the string are just a slightly different length.
More test cases has passed on Mei's side, but is this enough to beat Bramble?
Yeah, not quite. No,
it's not there yet. But Bramble still hasn't gone all the test cases, so this is quite a. This might end up being a really neck-to-neck match.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we see Bramble. Bramble's taking it so far, but we've got just under half of the time left in the round. There's enough time for either of them to get that full 141 test cases we're looking for.
Yes, I think they're going into thinking mode now. Oh!
The hints have been distributed. So let's see. Hint number 1. Use a dictionary to map letters in pattern to words in the string, where keys are letters and values are words. Don't forget to split characters in pattern and split words in S.
Now that's a really interesting way of doing it, because again, dictionaries are the same thing as a hash map, which is basically the idea of key and a value. And if you can give it like a key as the pattern and a value as the actual word itself, then you could probably make a very simple code with that. Yes. Oh, we're getting a huge comment.
Yeah, I think Bramble is just giving up on this first lot of code. Let's rewrite it.
Yes.
Same logic, but just make it a bit cleaner. I think both of our contestants were pretty much on the ball when it comes to the first hint. Let's see what we have for the second hint. You can then go through pattern again, generate a list of words according to the dictionary, and check if it matches the original list of words.
Okay, so that would be a quick, nice little check, which is quite nice, quite nice. Okay, and we got a key error, though I am kind of surprised that Bramble will be commenting out the code, but yeah, I mean, like 137 test cases out of 141 is still quite a lot of test cases, and it's gonna be difficult for Mei to catch up. But Patrick, do you think the nerves are getting to them?
Oh, I think absolutely. That VHS of the 1995 film Hackers starring Angelina Jolie and Johnny Lee Miller is it's the prize everyone is here for. Consistently, every single contestant, nobody wanted to win the trophy, the grand prize. No, they all wanted the VHS of the 1995 film Hackers starring Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie.
I mean, if
I'd be shaking in my boots.
Yeah, if I enter the competition, my eyesight will be on the film 1995 film Hackers starring John Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie. But yes, here while true, okay, so letter is pattern.
See, I wonder if any of them have realised you can do the second pass. Perhaps this hint will push them in the right direction.
Oh, but maybe this hint could make them all the test cases just pass. Magic. Ooh. All right. Well, if anyone watching in the YouTube chat, please put down a question for our contestants to answer, and if you do, you can be entered in a giveaway to win that sweet Mackie t-shirt. So yeah, just question up in the chat, you know? Okay, back to the code.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got less than 3 minutes now. We're coming to the end. It's looking like it's going to Bramble.
But you never know. Mei can just sweep the whole thing in one go. Whoosh.
I think both of them have written quite a lot of lines of code, but I just haven't quite figured out which of those edge cases they need to test for.
Like the question looks really simple. Like it is literally matching two patterns together, but the code actually might be more complex than one anticipated. You know, the more complex, like simple it is, the more complex it can get. Also,
I'm seeing a few print statements from Mei, so they're definitely in the debugging session of everything.
Printing the so printing the lambda statements, which is quite smart to do, and
so I believe what they're doing here is they've created a map where they're mapping, you know, the letters to words. Now they're printing what the result is after performing that mapping. So then you can see sort of what am I actually getting versus what I'm expecting.
Well, we can see the length, like there's more like checking in Mei's code, like there's a lot of if statements going around, and also a while loop, which is kind of risky. Sometimes I do think while loops are more risky than a for loop. Well, that's because a wise man once said a for loop is a promise, and yeah, and I follow that.
Now, we're coming up to just 1 minute left in the round. Both of them are intensely debugging.
Yeah, they're both of them are.
Bramble is still in the lead with 137 test cases. Going into the seconds now, so it may well come down to time.
Yes, time is of an essence, and there's only it's approaching 40 seconds. In 40 seconds, you know, Bramble could be taking home the 1995 film Hackers, starring John Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie. So I'm really excited for that. Maybe I might steal it from him.
There's an intense look on both of our competitors' faces. Yeah, as the clock's counting down, you can see they're really trying to just inch out those last few test cases.
Oh, this might be going to Bramble, I'm not gonna lie, Patrick.
20 seconds, 15 seconds.
Okay. Let's count down, Is
Mei going to be able to get those last few bits?
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's Bramble.
Bramble takes it.
Yes. Bramble did take it. They took it.
So close.
Yes, yeah.
137. Only 4 test cases were wrong there.
Yeah, but most of the code is completely reasonable, it looks like.
We're clearly on the right track, we're just not quite there.
Yes. I mean, surprisingly, like Bramble being a mathematician, becoming 3rd place is actually a really big feat.
I think Mei showed some really impressive skills there. Got a large chunk of the test cases very quick with, you know, showing off some of the really nice features that Python has, but the logic just wasn't quite there in the back. Yeah, the tricky thing about Python is it's being like really like one-liner kind of thing, but that one line has to be perfect for it to work kind of thing. There is no, like you can't just split apart the code and it's like one line each code, like one line each function. It's like all of it in one go, which is massive. Well, shall we see how Mei feels after missing out on a second copy of the 1995 film Hackers starring Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie?
So, congratulations, Bramble. You've won a 3D pen and what I think we can all agree is the real prize of tonight, a copy of the 1995 film Hackers starring Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie on VHS. Are you looking forward to watching it when you go home?
Not sure how I'd play a VHS, but...
With a VHS player?
Right.
You got a VHS player, right?
No.
Well, that's a problem. Bramble clearly missing a vital piece of any home entertainment system. Unfortunately, Mei, you came so close, but didn't quite get the coveted Hackers VHS tape. But you're not going home with nothing either. Both of you are going home with our lovely HackSussex tote bags, which contains the shirt, the mug, as well as a brand new iFixit Essential Electronics Toolkit. Now, Bramble, before we send you on your way, is there anything you'd like to say to the people at home? Fair enough. And Mei, is there anything you'd like to say to the folks at home?
Nothing I can think of.
Cool. Fair enough. For now, let's check back in with Patrick and Richard.
It's been a few intense rounds, but let's have a recap, Patrick.
Yes. For our first match of the semi-finals, we saw Layton versus Bramble. Layton getting into the finals for his second time, actually.
Yes, yes. Oh, and I'm really rooting for Layton now. But Jacopo is also on the finals. Your good friend is up there.
Yeah, that's right. He managed to take it away from the boogeyman Mei.
Though yes, we also saw the third place match being Bramble versus Mei, and Bramble taking home the sweet, sweet prize of the VHS tape of the film Hackers, starring John Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie.
Oh, yeah. It's truly been a really exciting adventure. But anyway, with the finals approaching, I would like to take a moment once again to thank our incredible sponsors, Switchplane, BCS, and CogApp.
Switchplane are software engineers that develop custom software and AI solutions using modern cutting-edge technologies. They do great work supporting the local tech community, being the driving team behind Chalk Eastbourne, allowing locals tech enthusiasts to network monthly at their meetups.
Don't forget to follow us on all our socials at HackSussex on Instagram and join us on the Discord.
Well, I think it's time for a quick break.
We're about to take another short break, but stay tuned with the finals looming. Who will be the best programme here at Sussex and take the Coders Cup 2024 Championship? We'll also have winners of the question giveaway.
Alright, welcome back everyone to the Coders Cup 2024.
Congratulations to D on YouTube, who won the question giveaway. DM us on Instagram at HackSussex and we'll get you your t-shirt ASAP.
Well, we have one more giveaway for you guys at home. All you need to do is head to our Instagram story and vote for who do you think will win our finals and named the best programmer of all of Sussex.
Good luck, everyone.
Alright, we're going to do a little quick recap on what happened. Alright.
So we first saw Layton beating Bramble to take our very first finalist spot.
And then we saw Jacopo meeting Mei,
becoming our second finalist. And then, of course, we had our little third place match where Bramble got our unnamed tape, shall we say.
Yes, unnamed tape. Due to copyright laws, we got banned from saying it.
Right,
yes.
Okay, we are almost there, folks. We have narrowed down our 8 contestants to just 2 finalists.
All right, excited.
So, it's finally time for the grand final.
Yeah.
And they have one more challenge ahead of them.
But the title of the best coder doesn't come easy.
We have not 1, not 2, but 5 questions for our coders to answer.
Yes, that's right. Best of 5, our contestant will have 30 minutes to answer as many questions as possible.
Both contestants will work on the same question, and when one coder completes it, they snatch it away from themselves and both move on to the next.
This means whoever can get 3 questions under their belt fastest will take home the Coders Cup. Patrick, there is more than just a title to be won here.
Oh, but what could be better than years' worth of smugness and bragging rights?
Yes, nothing new, but the brand new Meta Quest 2 comes pretty close.
Sure, and on top of that, the winner gets this trophy.
Okay.
So here we are.
Here we are.
Jacopo versus Layton.
The big Python experts ready to battle it off.
Layton back in the finals again. It's his 3rd year here. He is desperate to get that trophy.
Yes, I hope this year Layton will win, but Jacopo also putting up a big fight. Oh, I'm really excited to see who's gonna win.
Yeah, let's hope that Jacopo learnt the lessons of Richard Handy well.
Yes.
Right. Let's not wait anymore.
Yeah.
Let's get to the final fight.
Yeah, let's get to the final fight.
After making it through weeks of online qualifiers, then coming here today, fighting their way through the quarter and semi-finals, knocking out everyone in their paths, these two competitors have made it to the live final. Congratulations to you both again. Layton, how does it feel to have made it this far again?
Really good. I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Wonderful. And Jacopo, feeling confident, feeling excited?
Yeah, same as before. I did not think I would make it this far, to be honest.
Well, before we get to the final, I'm actually hearing through my ear, we do have a question from the audience. This question comes from Dan, who has won himself a limited edition Ian Mackie t-shirt. He would like to know, what's your opinion on Temple OS?
It's God's creation, and anything made by a God that wise should be used by everyone.
I never heard of it before.
Don't worry, me neither. Thank you very much for your question, Dan, and I hope you enjoy your second Ian Mackie t-shirt. So, for the final time today, would you like to take your seats behind me? Are you ready? Okay then. It is time to decide who the best coder at Sussex really is, once and for all. Which of these coders knows their Mackies from their Wakemans, their MTLs from their FTLs, their debuggers from their print statements? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1, code.
All right, the first question of the finals.
Yeah, first of potentially up to 5. Make array 0 by subtracting equal amounts. You are given a non-negative integer array nums. In one operation, you must choose a positive integer x such that x is less than or equal to the smallest non-zero element in nums, subtract x from every positive element in nums, and then return the minimum number of operations you need to make every number in nums equal to 0.
Okay, so here in this example, we have a list of nums being 1, 5, 0, 3, and 5, and the output is 3. Well, a simple way to explain it is that first we choose x as 1, and the nums becomes 0, 4, 0, 2, and 4. In the second time, we choose number 2, because that's the lowest amount of number, and then subtract that, and then finally we choose 2 again, because again, that's the lowest amount of number, and we get a list of just zeros.
Jacopo, he's taking his time, he's thinking it through, but Layton's already got some code going. He's got a for loop.
Oh, I didn't know all was a function in Python actually. I don't know what exactly that does, but it looks like it might be all of the cases, maybe? However, all right.
Okay. So we're seeing him continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the coding is still happening, and as this is a 30-minute match, this is going to be a quite long match. But yes, don't forget to enter our giveaway by
voting for who you think's going to win the finals, take home the trophy. Will it be Layton? Will it be Jacopo? It's hard to say at this point.
Ooh,
and we're back.
And half the test cases passed. Well, by returning -1, well, that might be a false case, maybe?
Well, I believe the return -1 is a, that's a dummy return. I don't think we're ever actually going to get to that point in the code, because you see within the for loop, we're returning the maximum of, a little bit of list comprehension there.
Okay, a bit of list comprehension. Of course, Python being the... I'm sorry, but I am fangirling over Python here also. But yes, I do love Python. So yeah, again, another list comprehension. Again, the best thing in the whole world.
So hint number 1 has been given. Each numbers will reach 0 at the same time.
Okay.
So what that means is that whenever you subtract a number from numbers, any number that has the same value are going to reach 0 at the same. So we don't actually need to consider multiple copies of the same number. We only need to consider how many different unique numbers there are.
Making a set question, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yes, that's interesting. That's been Jacopo's first move of this round.
Yes.
Left equals set nums. So he's converting the simple array into a set.
Okay. Yes, a simple set, and then taking the lowest number first, and then working your way up. Correct, of the set? Probably that's how I would go and do it.
Well, but there's the potential for Jacopo to get a very clean, constant time answer. He could perhaps figure out some data from his set, rather than having to manually go through and subtract numbers from the list.
Ooh, and the hint 2 has dropped for both of our coders.
Okay, hint 2. The amount of operations directly depends on how many different numbers there are.
Okay, numbers. Okay,
So,
that's quite interesting.
Jacopo's strategy of converting the array into a set really helps with that, because sets can only contain unique numbers. So that immediately gets rid of any amount of doubles.
And they're not ordered. That's the main part of sets, that they are just a random collection of numbers.
Now Layton's taking a different approach. See, first he's sorting the array, perhaps so he can iterate through the list of numbers and erase the same numbers, or perhaps just not count them when he's totaling them up.
Ooh, that was a very elegant answer from Jacopo, earning 83 of the test cases, but not there yet.
Oh, I think he's about to get it, actually.
Oh,
there we
there
go.
we
That is
go.
the first question answered by Jacopo.
That's 1 to Jacopo.
Okay. Now, we've still got 25 minutes left, 4 questions, so it's still worth everyone giving it their all. It could go either way at this point, but Jacopo has taken a slight lead.
Yes, two more questions to Jacopo, and this could be Jacopo's victory.
So let's see the new question. Maximum number of words you can type. There is a malfunctioning keyboard where some letter keys do not work. All other keys on the keyboard work properly. Oh, I hope that doesn't happen. Given a string text of words separated by a single space, no leading or trailing spaces, and a string broken letters, of all distinct letter keys that are broken, return the number of words in text you can fully type using this keyboard.
Well, you know what I think I call this? This is a certified sticky keys moment. You know, every time you press that shift button and it just pops up, it's quite annoying, you know. I just hate sticky keys. But anyways, let's see what the coders are up to doing.
You see, Layton has gone straight in, typing out some code. Jacopo is thinking over the question. Now, we were a bit uncertain about this approach at the beginning of the finals, but it seems to have paid off in Jacopo's favour. He managed to get that last question in just 3 lines of code.
Yes, and Layton is going right ahead right now, trying to figure it out. But Jacopo is taking a more think it through, find out what happens. Let's get some patterns down, you know?
So Layton's splitting up the words. He's iterating for each word. Let's see, he's doing another for loop to check for each letter.
Okay.
And he's got a little boolean.
And Jacopo is also doing something similar of going through each word, however converting the words into a set, which is, again, quite nice. And for each word and for each letter in broken letters. And Layton got
it. The slow and steady approach didn't pay off this time.
Yes.
Wow. So our 2 contestants are neck and neck with 1 question between them.
Yes, it's a massive tug of war going on here now. Oh, now I'm kind of excited.
Right, we're going to go on to our 3rd question. Sort even and odd indices independently. You are given a 0-index integer array nums. Rearrange the values of nums according to the following rules. Sort the values of odd indices, nums, in non-increasing order, and sort the values at even indices of nums in non-decreasing order. Now, to be clear, non-increasing is what we might call decreasing. It's a bit backwards, but what it means is it has to not increase. So it can go down or it can stay the same. It's a less than or equals to comparison.
Well, this is quite a kind of a complication wordy question, but let's simplify it down where that's inputs nums equals 4, 1, 2, and 3. And then of course it gets arranged to even number 2, and then an odd number 3, and then an even number 4, and an odd number 1. But let's see what the code is, because I feel like the coders are going at
Layton and Jacopo have written 2 identical lines of code. In fact, the only difference here is that Jacopo has called it evens and odds, and Layton has called it even and odd.
And Layton is just going to sort the whole thing in one go, where Jacopo is using the sort method. Both of them do the exact same thing. Now
Layton has sorted his list in reverse for the odd numbers. Oh, Jacopo's deleting his code.
Yes.
What's going on here?
Back to the thinker pose, I see. Here we have for I in range of max length. So the maximum value from the length, like take that for each, like, okay, never mind, changing to a while.
I wonder if Jacopo has been struggling to reverse sort the list. You see, it's a very common technique to sort a list, but it comes up less often than you'd think, reversing a list backwards, and it's not the default option for many languages.
Yeah, like, that's a quite difficult question to answer, though it looks nice and easy. Again, it's just 2, 4 going up in the order, and the odd numbers going down in order, but it's a lot more tricky than anticipated.
Now, Layton, he's just created an array res, presumably where he'll put his result. Now, he's got his 2 separated arrays. However, he needs to combine them back into one. We don't want them separated. We only want a single array.
Okay, so Layton is using the pop method to pop off the top of the set to get the odd number, even number. If the even number is not there, then append the result to the thing. Oh, okay, no. If the even number is there, because he's using a not operation, then append the even number. If it's the other way around, do the other thing.
He's missing, has he?
Pop from an empty list.
And you see, he's going through the method of taking the final elements of the 2 sorted arrays and plopping it onto the end of his previous result.
Yes.
But he's getting an error when he's trying to pop elements off of a list that does not exist.
You know,
he's made checks to make sure that he isn't adding a none to the end, but just doesn't quite work like that in real life.
You know what I say to that, Patrick? I guess Layton is just not popping off just yet.
Now, interestingly, Jacopo has gone and split the list up again using a different method. Perhaps he was feeling a bit self-conscious having identical code to Layton.
Okay.
Layton submitted and got 13 test cases passed.
Yes, this is actually quite interesting because there's only 38 test cases in this question. Okay. Well, Patrick, you know, you're well versed in competitive coding, so how would you go about answering this question?
Well, you see, unfortunately, C++ doesn't have all these fancy list comprehension features, so I think I would probably start taking a similar method to Jacopo, manually sifting through and separating the lists. I don't think it would take too long, but it's not quite as nice as the nice splitting that Layton's got on the left there.
Oh yes, that's just because Python is just, you know, undoubtedly one of the best languages in the world.
He's taking a slightly interesting method where he's actually sorting his 2 lists the wrong way around. But then, because he's taking elements from the end, he's actually putting them back into his result backwards.
Oh,
so
okay.
Sort them backwards first, then sort them in backwards. That's an interesting way.
And
there we go.
All the test cases. That's the second round to Layton.
Okay. Yes. Layton has got back.
Looks like
he's ahead now, 2 versus 1.
It looks like under pressure for Jacopo because Layton only needs 1 more question to win, and then the Coders Cup is his.
But if Jacopo can manage to grab this one, he still has 17 minutes remaining. we might be seeing them go to the 5th and final question. This is turning out very exciting. Let's see what question number 4 is.
Oh, there comes the counter.
Right, find players with 0 or 1 losses. You are given an integer array matches, where matches I equals winner I, loser I. Indicates that the player winner I defeated a player in loser I in a match. Return a list of answers of size 2, where answers 0 is a list of all the players that have not lost any matches, and answers 1 is a list of all the players that have lost exactly 1 match. And the values in the 2 lists should be returned in increasing order.
Okay, so here we have an input matches of 1, 3, 2, 3, 3, 6, 5, 6, 5, 7, 4, 5, 4, 8. That's a lot of numbers. 4, 9, 10, 4, 10, 9, and the output being 1, 2, 10, and 4, 5, and 8. This is probably because players 1 and 2 and 10 have not lost any matches, and players 4, 5, and 7 and 8 each have lost 1 match.
So we've seen now our 2 competitors are a little bit hesitant. They've both got a couple of lines of code. Layton's got a little error. Flatten is not defined. He appears to be using a method that's not available in Python. That could be an issue.
Flatten is a method that's normally used in AI, actually.
Oh no, not you and your AI.
Oh, come on. Okay, so yeah, flatten basically just takes any kind of 2D array or any kind of 3-dimensional array, just to kind of changes the dimensionality by just, you know, kind of squeezing it together, just flattening it together. Normally changing it all to an 1D array, which is the simplest form of an array.
Okay. So Jacopo on the right, he's got 2 lists for no losses and 1 losses. This is presumably where he's going to go. Oh, no, he's deleted them. Oh. Okay, so he's using sets instead of arrays.
Okay, Patrick, compared to the last year's finals, how do you feel about this finals?
This final has been a little bit more exciting than last year's, I think. We've managed to see 4 out of the 5 questions already. It was tricky last year. I had a lot of bugs and issues, and it took me almost a full 30 minutes to debug just question 1. So these 2 contestants have managed to get over their hurdles really well, really quickly.
Yes.
Ooh, it seems that the first hint has been given.
Yes, a hint has dropped.
All right. Count the number of times a player loses while iterating through the matches.
Though, looks like Jacopo is really struggling by just deleting the code and stuff like that.
I think both of them have really taken to this to heart. They've both created dictionaries.
Okay.
So I think they're both going to start counting through and finding out where the losses are.
Well, dictionary, again, the massive key value pairs. Amazing. Maybe like using the matches, like the key as the matches and the out. And what would the values be, though? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, presumably the key would be the player, and the value would be the number of matches that player had lost.
Okay. So okay, that would be quite interesting. Yeah, you could definitely do that.
No.
By the way, this finals, right? Did you know that the winner gets a Meta Quest 2? Oh, I would love to have one of those. You know, I'd be dreaming, I'd be quivering to have one of those.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool piece of kit, to be honest. It's yeah, this isn't your average leak code where you're playing to get 10 leak code points for a chance to win a notebook in 5 years. These are real stakes here.
Yeah.
Oh, I imagine I'd be feeling a little bit nervous. I mean, both of our contestants have already won some pretty nice prizes, but haven't got the cherry on top yet.
Yeah, and well, if they have the cherry on top, then they can take the whole cake. Well, anyways, let's see what's happening in the code. I see there's no losses and 1 losses. Being if the value is 1, then append it to the. So using the array system, Layton looks like he's very close to beating the code because.
I don't know. I think Layton has a slightly strange approach with 2 nested for loops. Jacopo is taking the method that I would expect a little bit more. He's Layton submitted and got 10 out of 44 test cases. It's not bad.
There's a lot less test cases these rounds. I mean, that was expected as there are 5 different questions, but still, 44 test cases. I'll be sweating if I'm in their seats. Not gonna lie.
Now the second hint has just dropped. Use a dictionary to store the results and iterate through key value pairs to see if the value is equal to 0 or 1, and add that key to the appropriate list.
Okay.
So I think this is similar to the approach Jacopo is taking.
Okay. Okay, so I thought there was going to be a counters, not going to lie, but no, it's not.
Oh, good old counter. Jacopo appears to be importing from collections default dict. So I'm not quite sure what he's doing here. So rather than using the inbuilt dictionary to Python, he's using a separate default dict object.
That's quite interesting.
I wonder what his reasoning there. It might be that key difference between a hash map and a tree map. See, Python by default stores its values in an unsorted map, a hash map, which has a much quicker lookup time than using a tree in constant time rather than logarithmic. But the advantage of using a tree is it sorts the elements, and that is a key part here. You see, you need to return the answer sorted.
So, you know, you could say constant time and log constant, like log time, but you don't know what they are like actually. So let's just like kind of visualize it with a line like going like this. So that's the log. So, but constant time is bang, straight to the point. Ooh. But Jacopo has hit 33 test cases. Okay, we might be seeing the 5th question, Patrick. We might be seeing it.
You see, I think he's actually ditched his beloved default dicts in favor of the inbuilt dictionaries. Oh, and he's just going for a manual sort now.
Okay.
I think he's very close. Let's see.
Yeah,
there we
go.
Oh, Jacopo managed to catch back up. It's now 2-2. We are going into the 5th and final question of the finals.
Okay, this is going to be intense.
Reduce array size to the half. You are given an integer array R. You can choose a set of integers and remove all occurrences of these integers in the array. Return the minimum size of the set so that at least half of the integers of the array are removed.
Okay.
Oh, Layton and Jacopo are both typing away. They're both importing a few statements.
Yep.
Oh, they've both got counter. They've clearly been doing their homework.
Yes, of course.
Seen previous coders.
See, counter is the best thing in the whole world. It just counts for you. It's great. Here we have a while statement going on Layton's side where we get the length of the array. If it's greater than the number, like the length of the array divided by 2, then something is going to happen, though I don't know what exactly. But how would you approach this question, Patrick?
Well, I think this is one where when you suss it, it's very quick. I would use a hash map. They're using counters. But it's a question of count everything, get rid of the numbers that occur the most, and just get it down. I think this is really tense. Both of them are writing out code. I think they both have a good grasp of the question, so getting it down. Layton seems to have a few more lines than Jacopo, but none of them have submitted anything yet.
Yeah, but Patrick, I respect them a lot because they came so far from like the hacker rank, then the quarterfinals, then the semi-finals, and now they're here battling it out in the finals. Just one question away. Once this question is done, then we will find out who will be the best programmer of Sussex.
I mean, they've had to do a lot of challenges in this finals. I mean, already they've been having to tackle 5 questions. That's more than any of the previous rounds for them combined.
Yeah, this is like a very intense like brain battle right now going on. And here we can see that Jacopo is using the count and a target. Okay, so Jacopo is setting a target divided by 2, which is of course half the size. And same with Layton, doing the same exact thing with the half the 2. But Layton looks like he's got a return statement.
He's running. He's running.
He's running. I don't know what the output is just yet, but we will see sometime later on. But let's see what Jacopo is doing. Okay, taking the length of the array and then the target. And then for the number in the sorted, I can't really see what the variables. Oh, okay.
Now I see one interesting thing is both of them have taken the length of R and used the double divide symbol, that's floor division, to halve it. You see, Python as a standard, when you divide a number in 2, it, you might end up with a decimal point, which you don't see in every language. So they clearly know what they're doing.
Yes.
Both of them using floor division without even thinking about it.
Well, fun fact, if you just do 0.1 plus 0.2, you get something like 0.3.00004, which is just like a small error of Python.
Those tricky floating point numbers, you want nothing to do with them, really.
Yes.
There we
and
go.
Layton has won.
Wow.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. Smashed it.
That was fantastic.
That was fantastic. That was unexpected also.
I mean, it was back and forth, wasn't it?
It was back and forth.
First in Layton's corner, then Jacopo getting back there, and then that final question.
Yes, and
both
Layton
of
got
them.
it. Like smashed it. Layton has smashed it, but Jacopo also came really far into the battle, and honestly, neck to neck, one of the most intense battles I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was a really close matchup. It was really exciting.
Very, very excited.
Why don't we see if our contestants are as excited as we are?
So congratulations, Layton. You've won the Coders Cup 2024. I'm going to give you a moment for that to sink in and come back to you in a minute, okay? Okay, right. Unfortunately, Jacopo, you made it so far, and that was such a close final round as well. Like, I could feel my heart going in the other room. But you have been knocked out in the final round, and you've made second place. Congratulations for all of your hard work. Is there anything you want to say?
Not much. Just thank you, Maya, and thank you, Craft House team. That's pretty much it. So, hi.
Okay, and of course, you won't be going home empty-handed. You get everything the other contestants have got so far, except for the 1995 film Hackers starring Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie, plus a Raspberry Pi retro gaming kit. Thank you so much for coming in the show. Go on, bring it over. A nice big bag of goodies for you. Cool, and it's almost time to check in with our winner, but before we do, let's have a look at their journey to the top with Patrick and Richard.
All right. That was a very intense few matches, wasn't it, Patrick?
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was amazing.
I mean, first of all, we saw Layton taking on Roy, snatching it away from the doctoral student.
Then Layton taking it from Bramble, taking it away from the mathematician.
Yeah, proving that we are doing the right degrees, guys. Don't worry.
And then finally, Layton taking it away from Jacopo as the finalist.
What a really exciting final that was. It's we didn't know until right at the end who it was going to be.
But don't forget, Jacopo also had a really interesting journey, fighting against Kay in the first round.
And then, of course, beating Mei, everyone's expected winner.
Though it was unfortunate, but he couldn't beat Layton. So, however, really impressive. Really impressive.
Yeah. I am. It's just been great, honestly.
It's been great, like neck to neck. We have the fifth question. I thought we were never going to see the fifth question, by the way.
But anyway, I'd also like to give congratulations to Maya Elizabeth, who correctly guessed the winner and won the giveaway. We're going to DM you with information on how you can claim your prize. So let's hand it over to Josh with a little talk with our winner.
Congratulations again for winning this year's Coders Cup. Is there anything you would like to say to your adoring fans at home?
It was my 3rd attempt, and I finally did it. I guess practice pays off.
Seems like 3rd time's the charm for you.
3rd time's the charm, yeah. I've done leak code every day for the past 50 days now.
You've straight up trained for this.
I have the tiger, man.
Now, of course, I think we can agree that being crowned the best programmer at Sussex is a prize enough in itself. But that's not the only prize you're going home with today. You're also going home with the HackSussex tote bag with the Coders Cup mug and shirt that everyone who made it to the live finals gets to take home. The iFixit Essential Electronics Toolkit that you won for getting through the first round. The 3D pen and the Raspberry Pi Retro Gaming Kit that you won for making it into the finals. And as our grand winner for this year, you're also going home with a brand new Meta Quest 2. How does all that sound?
That's incredible. What the hell? That's so good. That's such a good prize. What the hell? Dude, that's awesome.
Did no one tell you that's the top prize?
No. That's so sick. I've wanted one for ages.
I'm so glad you're happy with that. Now, of course, even with all of that, there is one more thing you get to take home. Without further ado, I think that this belongs to you.
Wait just a minute.
Oh.
There's one more thing we need to do. Well, well, Layton. It's good to see you again. It's been a year, hasn't it? Unfortunately, we never got to fight last year. And now from one champion to another, I need to show to you that C++ is the best programming language. It's going to be you and me at those computers. What do you say?
Bring it on.
Okay, with a surprise extra round, I guess we'll go back to Richard and someone in the studio.
That's right, people. We have an extra bonus round. Well, anyways, I need to introduce to my new host because Patrick is gone. Keegan.
Yep.
Hi, say hi, Keegan.
Thank you very much, Richard. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be an exciting round. Can we see Layton beat the ultimate titan that is Patrick?
Yes,
C++ mastermind.
I don't know, but maybe. I mean, like, Patrick is really skilled at competitive programming.
100%. He leads O1 sessions all the time. He goes to coding competitions. He's just a brilliant composer.
Well, the thing is, it says the years of coding being 2 there, which is actually not true, because Patrick has been coding for 5,000 years because he created C++. And as a result, well, he's going to be, of course, the clear champion here.
100%. 100%. It's going to be an uphill battle for Layton.
Yeah, like, there is no way Layton can pass Patrick.
It's going to surely surpass our expectations if Layton wins this.
Yes, though he's using Python, so of course if he has a better language, he's going to win automatically. But still,
100%.
But still, C++ is a really good language, so yes. I wonder how this is going to pan out. I'm really excited, not going to lie.
Should we get ready to see them?
But yeah, no, let's see how this battle is going to be. The battle of the titans, as you put it, Keegan.
The battle of the mega programmers.
The mega program, the brainiacs.
Yeah.
So let's see how it goes out.
Okay then, so truly for the last time today, we're going to be watching the last 2 people compete. It's going to be last year's winner versus this year's winner. Champion versus champion. So, get ready to code. Sorry, compete. 3, 2, 1, and code.
Okay.
Well, this is a very easy question. I wasn't expecting this. I thought we were going to be having like a true, really hard question. Oh, very interesting development. Patrick is coding in Python. His arch nemesis,
yes.
His most hated programming language. I'm sure he's writhing in his boots, seething with anger. You can see on his face he's not enjoying it.
Yes.
Although I feel like he should find this problem quite easy with all of the introduction to Python sessions he's been hosting.
Yes. But to be honest, C++ is. Well, not Python, because Python is better, but yeah, here's just a sum to 100. Yeah. Like, what could go wrong with that?
I don't know, but I think in the wise words of Guy, he's doing recursion, which I wouldn't recommend, but
Oh!
interesting. Layton passing 0 out of 1 test cases.
Yes,
Will he
Layton
do it?
can't do addition,
I'm not
looks
sure.
like.
I don't think he's actually properly read the question yet, because I don't know if he wants to type out 100 numbers.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to type out 100 numbers. Okay, Patrick is going to be typing out 100 numbers. Oh, okay, so he's going through all the base numbers, being 1 to 0.
Yes.
But this might look like a simple question, but it actually still thinks that like you still have a lot to think
Oh,
about.
Layton's won! What an
Brute force is the
exciting
way,
match!
I guess.
Layton is now the best programmer at Sussex.
Yes,
He's
yes.
taken those bragging rights from Patrick. Patrick is, I'm sure, is extremely sad he can no longer call himself the best.
You know what this means? That Layton can officially count to 100. And
Let's go. Basic math skills for the win.
Yes,
That's
that is
amazing.
quite an impressive
Thank
feat, I'm
God.
pretty sure. Like, I don't think I can count to 100. I can go to 99.
That's impressive, Richard.
Oh, thank you.
I'm glad you can at least count to 99. I can't count.
Yes. well, I'm a computer scientist. Sorry, I'm not like Bramble.
It's not my job.
It's
It's the calculator's job. If I see 1 + 1, I'm going straight to that calculator.
well, yes, calculators are quite powerful, but sometimes you need mental maths for your skills. You know, sometimes you just need to know when to like count to 100.
I think you're right.
Yes, because you never have a calculator. You never have a calculator always around you.
Well, that's goodbye from me. Let's see how Layton feels about his amazing win against Patrick.
What I think was easily our shortest round of the competition so far. You've completely failed to defend your title, Patrick. How'd you feel?
I was foiled by Python, my one weakness. But you truly deserve it later. You are the greatest coder at Sussex.
Okay, I think now that we've proven that you didn't belong here this year, I think we should let you head off.
That was brutal.
Yeah, he's tried to come in. You've done 3 rounds to earn this. He tries to sweep it at the last minute. Yeah, screw that guy. This right here, this is yours. How'd you feel?
I feel amazing. Yeah, I do feel really good.
Do you feel extra validated for having beaten last year's winner as well?
Yeah, but he was in a different terrain. He's used to C++, and if he had C++ on his side, I don't know how I'd have fared.
I mean, that's a fair point. On the other hand, though, he's less fatigued because it's the first programming he's had to do of the day.
Yeah, you make a very fair point. Either way, I'm extremely proud of the trophy. It looks amazing. And yeah, I've got new equipment to try out at home. I'm really happy and really excited.
I will mention one of the things that made us pick this model of trophy over others is that you can actually drink out of this one. And I know we're all going for drinks later. What are you going to drink out of this when we get to the party later?
Whatever comes to hand. Probably not the best method, but after winning, I'm still a bit shaky.
I mean, as the victor today, I think you probably won't be at a loss for drinks people are giving you to celebrate.
Oh, I'm being spoiled, and I'm enjoying it.
Okay, cool. So, I think it's been fantastic having you here. Thank you so much for coming along. I'll let you head off and stop shaking and quivering and take a seat and relax and take it all in.
Thanks so much.
And Layton, this
Thank
for
you for coming. Oh, and all the rest of your prizes.
I'm going to run out of hands at this rate. Thanks.
Thank you. So, I've been Josh.
And I've been Amy.
And that is all from us for today.
Thank you very much for tuning in. And for the last time today, back to you in the studio, Patrick and Richard.
And that's a wrap for the HackSussex Coders Cup 2024. What a wild ride it's been. One more congratulations to our big winner, Layton.
And thank you to everyone who participated in the qualifiers, as well as here in the live finals. Oh, and we have one more thing. The winners of our social media giveaway is to Maya, who guessed it correctly and won the giveaway. Contact us on Instagram to receive your prize.
Wow, it's hard to believe we're all finished.
Yeah, raw talent was everywhere in the show, shining from each contestant.
Oh, they all managed to give us an amazing show, but we couldn't have done it without our generous sponsors, BCS, Switchplane, and Cog App.
And we can't forget to give a huge thank you to Kobe and Maddie in the Media Technology Lab for letting us use their studio to bring you the live final today.
And we have to give thanks to the HackSussex committee for putting in the hard work behind the scenes.
And last but not least, all of you for tuning in. Huge love to you all.
I think that's it from us. But don't turn off just yet. We have one more special announcement coming up.
Let's go and see what Jack, our president, has in store for us.
It's bye from me, and I'll see you at the pub.
Ciao!
Thank you all once again for all of your support and engagement with HackSussex. Being president of the society is a tough job, and it comes with a lot of responsibilities. I have absolutely no doubt that our next president has everything it takes to carry the torch, making HackSussex bigger and better again. You may already know them as one of HackSussex's most talented programmers, the man that makes the best and most consistent cups of tea on campus. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce you to Patrick Culmer, the next president of HackSussex. You're in capable hands.
Cheers, Jack. Being involved with HackSussex has been an amazing experience. I'm really honoured to be given the helm and the opportunity to do even more. I think it's great how events like the Hackathon, the Game Jam and the Coders Cup bring so many people throughout the uni together. After Jack smashed it out of the park this year, I know I have big boots to fill, but I have a fantastic group of people on the committee next year to help me. We're going to have loads of great workshops, show what we're made of to other unis, and of course put on the best hackathon yet. I hope you all keep an eye on us and join us with the fun.